It was great. I trust you retired to bed very nicely yesterday and you woke up strong today. Good morning to you. Welcome to Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Let's go! My name is Noble Crosby and so far so good. A beautiful morning. Akessa Brimpon calls this victory. And that is how we want you to start your Wednesday. So that you're certain in your mind, you're sure in your heart that you are a victorious person, that you're starting the day victoriously. If you are in the church right now, if you're listening to me at home, if you're listening to me in the taxi, in the Uber, on your way to work, you're getting ready to work, if you're just lying in bed, looking up into the ceiling, into the skies, I'm here to tell you that it's not over for you. It's not too late for you. You still have victory knocking at your door. Go out there and take it. Go out there and let it in. Let's get to know how Wednesday will treat us in terms of weather. What preparations we need to make as we begin our day. Felicity Afianyo is joining us. Good morning to you, Felicity. It's a beautiful morning here for me. How's yours?
Yeah, good morning, Cosby. My place too is beautiful. I can feel the traces of the Hamatan winds over my area.
At long last, at long last. Anyways, tell us about Wednesday.
Yes, today we expect the dry and hazy conditions to intensify over the north and part of the transition. We expect visibility to also reduce to around 5,000 meters over most portions over the northern portions. For those in the southern sector, we expect some few clouds in the sky and then some afternoon showers over the western region, part of western north, part of Greater Accra. It's just going to be a brief one. For that, temperatures will also be on the higher side, 37 for the northern sector, 36 for the middle and the transition. Along the coastal strip, we expect it around 33, 34 degrees Celsius. We are having some rain and thunderclouds over the ocean. The sizes are not too big, but then if they want to navigate towards Libreville, Cameroon, they have a massive one over there, so they need to be careful. Towards Côte d'Ivoire, it's pretty cool. They can navigate, but then they need to be a bit careful. Water Lake, pretty cool for any fishing activities, except that this evening to tomorrow morning, we are likely to experience a widespread misty with fog patches, so which will affect visibility. So fisher folks that wants to navigate over the ocean at night till tomorrow morning need to be careful.
Felicity, thank you so much for bringing us those updates. We appreciate you.
Thank you too. Have a lovely day.
You too. To do for the day, how to prepare ourselves. And those of you who need the weather for your businesses, for your work, now you know you can adequately prepare and face the day square on. Newspaper review segment. And after that, we'll get deeper into some of the papers, making sense of the stories, helping you understand them, break them down for you. Newspaper banner headline, "The Ghana we want is achievable." That's according to President Mahama, and that story is on page 3 of the paper. Be bold in your thinking. UNIMAC Vice Chancellor urges students. Professor Eric Opoku Mensah is saying, and University dons Lord Gold Board on macroeconomic benefit. That story is on page 5 of the Accra Times newspaper. It comes with the pictures of Mr. Peter Junior Dochi, Professor Ejapoma Jeche Dako, and Professor Festus Ebo Texing. Also on the front page of the Accra Times newspaper this morning, Amadu Sorogo is chairman of NFC, pledges strategic leadership. That story is on page 4. An MPA boss speaks at 77th New Year School and Conference, also on page 4 of the Accra Times newspaper. Now to the Daily Gist newspaper. Who is behind GRA's 17 million cedis sweet oil deal? Who is behind GRA's 17 million sweet oil deal? That story is on page 3. It comes with a picture of Anthony Kwesi Sapon, GRA Commissioner General. Also on the front page of the Daily Gist newspaper, NPP moves to expel Professor Frimpong Boati over anti-party activities. Story on page 9 of the paper. Supreme Court pushes Bandai election dispute to January 28. Supreme Court pushes Bandai election dispute to January 28, and 55% of Ghanaians back Bawumia for 2028, says a poll on page 3 of the paper. Also, the Daily just says how Oforiatta ended in U.S. detention. The inside story on page 2. If you want the inside story of how Ken Oforiatta ended in U.S. detention, then grab a copy of the Daily Gist for yourself. It is selling at only 5 cedis. Also, a major story on the front page of the Daily Gist is Shraj probes Def Tracker over new GRA Kanda office contract. Shraj probes Def Tracker over new GRA Kanda office contract. That's it for the Daily Gist newspaper. Now to the Insight newspaper. The Insight newspaper. Brian shakes 16 regions. NPP presidential race. Brian shakes 16 regions. Completes 276 constituency tour in record time. The paper says one of the flag bearer aspirants of the NPP, Brian Champion, has completed 276 constituency tours in record time. We'll get to know the details. Also, Nungua Stool condemns unlawful possession of firearms and invasion of Manjo lands. Nungua Stool condemns unlawful possession of firearms and invasion of Manjo lands. South Africans blast US as rogue state in protest to denounce abduction of Maduro. South Africans blast US as, quote, rogue state in protest to denounce abduction of Maduro. Also, government gets tough on plunder of forest, unleashes timber task force to reclaim national heritage. Government gets tough on plunder of forest, unleashes timber task force to reclaim national heritage. Okay, so now there's a timber task force as well. I see. Price of premix fuel reduces significantly in January 2026. Price of premix fuel reduces significantly in January 2026. That story is on page 5 of the paper. And Green Transition Officer hails Jospel sustainability drive, says move deserves more domestic and international spotlight. That's it for the Insight newspaper. I'll take you now to the Daily Post newspaper this morning, and this is what the Daily Post says: that Akando directs managers of teaching hospitals to operate 24-hour OPD and lab services. Akando directs managers of teaching hospitals to operate 24 OPD and lab services. The story is captured on pages 4, 5, and 6 of the Daily Post newspaper. We'll get the details. Government plans 10 billion cedis domestic infrastructure bond to fund roads, boost economic recovery. And ICE cleared Ken Oforiatta as medically fit before detention, according to Victor Smith. Victor Smith is Ghana's ambassador to the United States. These are the stories that the Daily Post is reporting on its front page. And finally, from me is the Custodian newspaper. The Custodian newspaper says that MPP to sack traitors. That's how the paper framed it. MPP to sack traitors starts with Frimpong Boateng, MPP to sack traitors, starts with Frimpong Boateng there. That is what the Custodian newspaper is saying. Also, above tribe, beyond religion, across regions, let's win with Bawumia. Supreme Court rules on Pandai rerun January 28. Comes with a picture of Matthew Nyendam hoping to regain his seat in Parliament. No room for tribal religious divisions in NPP. That's according to Mr. Hassan Tampuli, is seen in the picture shaking hands with Dr. Bawumia. Siao Ejapon urges conscious leadership cultivation at 2026 JLC Confab. An expert raises concerns over MIF's governance issues. These are the stories that the Custodian newspaper is reporting this morning. On 3news.com, 3news.com. You can log on to 3news.com and you get some more stories as well. So this one says Health Minister directs managers of teaching hospitals to operate 24-hour OPD and lab services. The story says that the Minister for Health, Kwabena Minta Akando, has directed all public teaching hospitals to urgently begin operating their outpatient departments, laboratories and diagnostic centers on a 24-hour basis in line with the President's 24-hour health service policy. He made this call during an ongoing sector-wide management retreat, which brings together leadership across the health sector to reflect on performance and chart a forward-looking path. The minister further tags the Health Facilities Regulatory Authority and the National Health Insurance Authority to expedite processes towards the full accreditation of the Sunyani Regional Hospital as a teaching hospital, noting that this will enhance clinical training, decongest existing teaching hospitals, and improve access to specialized care. Mr. Kando emphasized that government health sector priorities outline critical reforms and targeted interventions aimed at improving access, strengthening coordination, and enhancing service delivery nationwide. While aligning with institutional objectives, budgets and operational plans with these commitments, he noted, is essential to meeting public expectations and accelerating sector-wide performance. Let's take a listen to the health minister when he was making these statements as he directed all public teaching hospitals to urgently begin operating their outpatient departments, laboratories, and diagnostic centers on a 24-hour basis in line with the President's 24-hour health service policy.
Please, let me see you owning the provisions in the manifesto, aligning what you are doing to the manifesto. Let's go back. Please, I'm not saying that clearly. We must align ourselves to the manifesto. Take take responsibility. There are some of them one agency cannot. One or two must come together. It's not as though whatever you are presenting is not good. It's fantastic. But you are not aligning them to the manifesto. You are not owning the provisions in the manifesto. It's not coming out clearly. So you see, a minister will sit down there because all of these are brilliant ideas. We'll go on that direction. We'll leave our document somewhere. 4 years, Ghanaians will ask me, what did you do? Please, let me see you owning the provisions in the manifesto. Aligning what you are doing to the manifesto. Let's go back. Please, I'm not saying that clearly. We must align ourselves to the manifesto. Take responsibility. There are some of them one agency cannot. One or two must come together. It's not as though whatever you are presenting is not good. It's fantastic. But you are not aligning them to the manifesto. You are not owning the provisions in the manifesto. It's not coming out clearly. So you see, a minister will sit down there because all of these are brilliant ideas. We'll go on that direction. We'll leave our document somewhere. 4 years, Ghanaians will ask me, what did you do?
On the back of this. So we asked the people in the field whether they are able to do it. It's one thing telling these professionals, these hospitals to urgently begin operating their outpatient departments, their laboratories and diagnostic centers on a 24-hour basis. In fact, a lot of hospitals already do this. That's a truth, and we should establish that. But if we're making this urgent, if we're making this mandatory, if we're calling this a directive, do these health facilities, do they have what it requires? Do they have the needed equipment? Do they have, the manpower to be able to do this? Does their facility itself support something like this? Or they'll need some forms of help from government? And is government willing to provide them with what they need so that they'll be able to carry out this directive? So that you visit any teaching hospital in the country, whichever region you go to, any teaching hospital you visit, they'll be operating outpatient departments, laboratories and diagnostic centers on a 24-hour basis. In fact, I know that for a lot of the outpatient departments, almost all the hospitals are open 24 hours a day, 24/7. The laboratories, maybe a few of them or some of them, but the diagnostic centers at the teaching hospitals, that I'm not too sure. We'll get to know exactly what the situation is, how important this is. We know it will go a very long way in helping us deal with some health situations we have in the country. This is fresh from the health minister. You will be interested in this. This one says, reduce prices as CD strengthens. Reduce prices as CD strengthens. It is coming from the trade minister to Abossey Okai dealers. In fact, just yesterday, we had a few calls on our Community Voices segment where some of our listeners were telling us that although the CD has gained some strength and the dollar is falling, when you visit Abossey Okai, a lot of the spare parts dealers, or some of the spare parts dealers, they have rather increased prices and they do not understand why. This morning, the Minister for Trade and Agribusiness and Industry, Elizabeth Ofosu-Adjare, she has urged spare parts dealers at Abossey-Okai to further cut prices in line with Ghana's improving macroeconomic fundamentals. The sustained appreciation of the cedi as a key driver, noting that the exchange rate has strengthened from levels of about 17 cedis to the US dollar to around 12 cedis, significantly easing foreign exchange pressures on imports and creating room for downward price adjustments. The minister also referenced recent fiscal policy measures, including the scrapping of the COVID-19 levy in the 2026 budget, which she said is expected to lower the effective import cost structure and reduce the overall tax burden on imported spare parts. And related items have already declined, reflecting improving cost conditions, she reaffirmed. Never they holler for my money, I call on my God. I never they wonder, never. She's urging them to reduce prices as the cedi strengthens. Maybe we should try and speak with the Abossey-Okai spare parts dealers and ask them what the situation is, what the difficulty in reducing the prices is. Because a lot of people are complaining that although the cedi has gained strength, spare parts has not gone down. And then in fact it is affecting drivers, hence they cannot also reduce their lorry fares further. I'm sure they have good reasons and would love to hear from them. So the trade minister said that in 2024, the dollar went up to $1 to 17 cedis. Now it's under 12 cedis. And so there shouldn't be any justification why prices will remain the same or go up. This is about my fifth interaction with traders at different levels. Early 2025, when the dollar started going up or down, I invited the traders and we had a conversation, and they gave me up to 4 months to reduce prices. True to their words, after 4 months, a lot of things were reduced, especially tomatoes, rice, oil, and all of those things, and even some spare parts. In further discussion, we have realized that some traders have still not reduced their prices to reflect their strength in the cedi. She says that in all fairness to people here in Abossey-Okai, about 80% of the people I spoke to have reduced their price. And I'm here with some drivers and they are attesting to that. A few have not reduced their prices to reflect the gains that the cedi has made. So we have discussed and I am excited at the reception. So what the trade minister is telling you people at Abossey-Okai, you are dear spare parts dealers at Abossey-Okai, that please reduce your prices because the cedi is very strong. The cedi is strong now. Please reduce your prices. Let us reflect in your trading activities. And this one is coming from the camp of the NPP. Professor Frimpong Boateng defies NPP expulsion threats. That's the story on page 4 of the Daily Post newspaper. It says that Professor Frimpong Boateng defies NPP expulsion threats. The paper says in a blistering rebuke of the NPP leadership, cardiothoracic surgeon and party stalwart Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng has declared he will not be intimidated into leaving the party he helped build. The former Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation responded to reports that the National Executive Committee is moving to expel him for labeling the current party structure as fake. Rather than backing down, the professor launched a fresh volley of criticism, suggesting that it is the current leadership, not him, that should be shown the exit. That's according to Professor Frimpong Boateng, and the tension follows a series of recent interviews where Professor Frimpong Boateng described the re-election of certain leaders as a train wreck and characterized the party's direction as fundamentally destroyed. When asked if he would preemptively resign to avoid the humiliation of expulsion, his response was defiant. Listen to what he said. He said, "No, I am not leaving the party. They should leave the party because they are the fake ones. They should go away and the true party will stand." He dismissed the next disciplinary measures as a distraction, stating flatly that he has no intention of appearing before any committee to defend his remarks. It says that I will not honor any invitation from NEC to waste my time, signaling a total breakdown in his relationship with the party's administrative wing, with the current party's administrative wing. The professor's critique is rooted in the belief that the NPP has drifted far from its founding principles of liberal conservatism and institutional integrity. He argued that the party is currently in a state of terminal decline that can only be reversed by a complete purge of the fake elements at the top. So let's take a listen to Professor Frimpong Boateng. And is this when he was speaking on Asempa? When he was making all of these claims, we can take a listen to him when he was dismissing the disciplinary measures as a distraction. He says that he will not honor any invitation from NEC, from the party. He says that he will waste his time. Take a listen to Professor Frimpong Boateng now.
Do you still consider yourself a member of the NPP?
Where the present MPP is not MPP, it's fake.
What?
Yeah. What I see now, it is not the MPP I used to know.
But the question still stands. Do you still consider yourself a member of the MPP?
Not the fake one.
So which one is the real one?
The real one is there. It's a virtual thing, and the members are there in the background.
You think that... I don't understand.
But look at how they elected their last flag bearer. Twist the arms of weak and...
This is for the 2024 election?
Yes. Twist people's arms, bribing delegates, and intimidating others to get a flag bearer. This is the beginning of corruption, and this should not be allowed in any serious situation or in any serious party. And there were issues. We lost the elections badly, and we did not deal with the issues that led to the losses. And then we still want to go in there, and I think it would be a train wreck.
Do you still consider yourself a member of the MPP?
Where the present MPP is not MPP, it's fake.
What?
Yeah. What I see now, it is not the MPP I used to know.
But the question still stands. Do you still consider yourself a member of the MPP?
Not the fake one.
So which one is the real one?
The real one is there. It's a virtual thing, and the members are there in the background.
You think that...
Well, before the big statement be from General Secretary, but General Secretary, me share da, me ne kasa da. But what I'm saying is I'm just waiting for official communications from them.
Yeah, because I say in the statement, I say Obe refer to NEC. And the NEC would have to take a decision on you, but we're invoking the constitutional provision for expelling a party member from the party. Into was started to move the UF free party. But was a NEC it may approve our decision. No.
Oh, okay. I'm just I mean, so a lawyer also here. I don't know when he completed law school, maybe a lawyer or teacher, real school. No. Now, for this man to say, Ubia Bomipa and America the Americano, I am very sad. I've been very consistent. Sir, Omopa, a dear man on the party, for the years, over the years, But then another one, I've been very consistent, very concerned. So, party and Kofa Brown, so what I'm saying is that faction or general secretary, that's a fake thing. Now they should quit. They should quit, and then the real party will stand.
Yeah, but you are still repeating claims, Ama secretary issues, because when you say party,
I don't care what they do. I mean, look, he is fake because the only faker. I said, Obiya program from 9 to 10 p.m. Almost 6. Now we see I issue statement to somebody from the party. They can go ahead.
No,
not even respond.
That be one kasa nekeshia or no as general secretary. And the way invoke provisions in the party constitution say or refer to NEC.
Look, he's not a mature general secretary. How can you a program that ends at 10 p.m. and then before morning, you issue a statement? They can issue any statement that they want. I will not miss them, Obi.
But
I don't care what they do. Look, they are destroying the party, and somebody must stand up for that.
Okay, what have they done to destroy the party in this uncommon? And then they destroy the party now.
Look at all the things. Look at how we lost the election. You didn't go there. So, abuse of power, corruption, arrogance, and the party could not stand up to anybody. I'm a party now, teacher Pansampe. Who's around here, you will be free. So, hell with them.
Yeah, Prof. Nyabotre, but don't you think you are confusing government with the party? The government had a head of that executive.
The party brought the government. So if the government is going astray, the party can make a stand, can take a stand. As I said, we are calling Yampe, we say or so here. The party didn't do anything like that. So what is the party there for?
No, but you were in this country when the general secretary did interviews. Say there should be reshuffle. They called on the president to reshuffle his administration. What else could they have done?
I mean, you can't reshuffle concept. Look, there were so many things. What country has we need PCC country?
Yes.
We lost elections, and obviously, the party, one more party in the executive, they were supporting one person. They were supporting him. Some people were the blue white in Jomosa and Omutomano, the blue my Yabrabu Wamo, they say, and you man here. And you lose election report. Instead of coming out, move to your report, no be a candy, you'll be a Najaba, who quite a fast bit more win election if you know. Look at that, and you must say, yes, I'm going to say, you. And yet,
yeah, but why are you then saying, sir? Omo e chinchim nkofo nsa no mo da so chinchim nkofo nsa ye nenso
omo da so chinchim nkofo nsa
ana say na dey mu ni tumi mu bio
omo nya kra I mean there has been allegations even the electoral register no there are irregularities. I mean people are still not happy with them.
Yeah, but
also mo share here to statement to somebody from the party. They can go ahead.
No,
I'm not even respond.
That be one kasa neck here or no as general secretary. And the way invoke provisions in the party constitution say or refer to NEC.
Look, he's not a mature general secretary. How can you a program that ends at 10 p.m. and then before morning, you issue a statement. They can issue any statement that they want. I will not miss them. You know, Obi.
But
I don't care what I don't care what they do. Look, they are destroying the party, and somebody must stand up for that.
Okay, what have they done to destroy the party in this uncommon? And then, they destroy the party now.
Look at all the things. Look at how we lost the election. You're doing good, sir. So, abuse of power, corruption.
But you are still repeating claims, Ama secretary issues, because when you say party,
I don't care what they do. I mean, look, he is fake because they won't be faker.
You know what? It's bare girls up in this building, you know. Yeah. I'll pop champagne, innit?
Yeah. I'm on your faker. I mean, look. They won't
She calls this fake London boy, but earlier was the voice of Professor Frimpong Boateng, a stalwart of the NPP. The professor says that the party is fake. The party says that you have called me fake, you have called us fake, so we'll punish you, we'll expel you. Professor now says again that you are saying that you expel me, you cry you are fake. Oh, it's a battle of the fakeness. So that's it from the camp of the NPP. That's it from the camp of the NPP.
Fake London boy is coming down, coming.
In the political arena, this time we're going to the Supreme Court, and we're talking about the Kpandai election rerun. My colleague Lord Edwasari, he'll be joining us shortly. But let me give you some background to the story. That the Supreme Court has set Wednesday, January 28, to rule on the application by MP for Kpandai, Matthew Nyindam, to quash the decision of the Tamale High Court. NDC parliamentary candidate for Kpandai, Daniel Nsala, he filed an election petition which resulted in the annulment of Nyindam's election. Now, lawyers of Nyindam then escalated the matter to the Apex Court, arguing that the High Court judge lacked jurisdiction and the petition was filed after the mandatory 21-day period. Well, on Tuesday, January 13, the lawyers prayed the Supreme Court to overrun the Tamale High Court's decision on grounds that the NDC Kpandai parliamentary candidate filed his petition on January 25 after the 21-day mandatory period. Lord Edwasari is joining us to bring us update on what transpired in court. But first, Lord, tell us how the journey of the Kpandai election rerun, the court decisions, how has it all been? Thank you. Lord, can you hear me?
Right, Cosby. Yeah, Cosby, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Great. So you recall that we've been at this for quite a bit as far as the Kpandai election is concerned, and it's followed right after a similar issue or incident had with the Akwita. So if you'd like, you can say it was basically like the same playbook. Now, the NDC Member of Parliament went to the Tamale High Court and then filed a petition indicating that the Member of Parliament elect should not be holding that position because there's certain exigencies or certain issues regarding the electoral results. And the Tamale High Court granted his petition and then suspended the election. Now, fast forward, he also filed contempt. Again, that was also granted. And because we recall that there was lots of back and forth where the minority members of parliament were very much opposed to the fact that some members of the NDC, I should say, wanted them to oust the MP-elect or the MP for Pandai from the Parliament House. They made the argument that even when there was a case against, for example, Jackie Quayson, when he had an issue with his election when they were in court, remember, Jackie Quayson was also, there were some cases against him regarding fraud, among other things, because of a dual citizenship. So they're making the case that even when he had the issue, they did not oust him from Parliament. So that also went on for a bit. Now, fast forward, the case was escalated to the Supreme Court, and the lawyers for NPP sent the case to the Supreme Court this time around, indicating that the presiding judge in the Pandai case had no jurisdiction in the matter, citing that, for example, and this is where I'm bringing what happened in court yesterday. The reasons were they did it on two grounds. The first ground was that they felt, or from the documentation on record, the NDC candidate, Pandai candidate, Daniel Insala-Wakpao, he filed the petition out of time. Now, whenever there's an election result, you have 21-day period to file any petition if you feel aggrieved by the result. Now, they indicated that the result, the Pandai election result, it was gazetted on December 24. But then Daniel Insala-Wakpao filed the petition on January 25, 2025, pardon me. So they indicated that this was way after 21 days, and so they should not give him any platform of any sort. Now, the second ground was that because the petition was filed out of time, every action that was taken after that should be null and void. And so they were praying the apex courts to, as it were, throughout the application to, or the petition, essentially, they wanted the Supreme Court to quash that decision by the Tamale High Court. Now, of course, the lawyers for Daniel Insala-Wakpao, they're led by Ablan Ado, Sika Ablan Ado. She made the argument that it cannot be the case that they filed their petition out of time, because in as much as, yes, there was a gazette on December 24, 2024, the Pandai election results were re-gazetted on January 6th. And they stressed that the January 6th gazette, for example, contained all the 276 election results, including that of Pandai.
Right.
And so normally if there's a documentation and then there's an update, Crosby, on a later date, automatically the court is expected to use the updated one, which is a recent one, right? And so that's what they use, and that's for that reason, because they filed their petition on January 25, cannot be said that they filed the case out of time. And then they indicated that they actually accused the NPP of cherry-picking which gazettes to use, in that when the case was happening at the Tamale High Court, Matthew Nyendam, the NPP candidate who was elected as the NP for Pandai, used the January 6th gazette at the Tamale High Court. And so it cannot be that now they've come to the Supreme Court, he's indicating that the January 6th gazette should not take precedence because the original one was filed on December 24. And so in their affidavit in opposition to the application filed by the NPP candidates' lawyers, they indicated that they should throw out this application to quash the High Court's ruling because it is very much valid.
Right.
And then the lawyer for the Electoral Commission, because let's do a bit of a run back here. You recall that when the case was called last year, there were no representation from the Electoral Commission, and they got the bench to actually criticize heavily the Electoral Commission, all the commissioners essentially, because they're saying that now this is a body that takes care of all the elections, takes care of all the elections of the country, and there was no representation. They were just left with the lawyers. But for example, the indication that if there was a representation from the commission, initially last year when they were called, for which reason the case was adjourned to January, the accusation from the NPP's courses were that they hadn't been able to serve Daniel Nsalawapa because he was evading service. So they had come to the Supreme Court for an alternative way to serve him through WhatsApp, mail, the notices board of the High Court and the Supreme Court.
Right. I'd like for you to hold on for me and let's have a conversation with the Deputy Director of Elections of the NDC, Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer. Rashid Tanko Computer is joining us on the lines right now. Rashid, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning to you.
Good morning, my brother.
And Happy New Year. It's the first time we're engaging in 2025. 2026, I beg your pardon.
Very well, very well. I'm grateful.
Nice.
Same to you and your crew.
How does the NDC receive the Supreme Court's decision to adjourn the Pandai case?
Well, we were in court yesterday. I was there throughout. I can assure you we are okay. We are fine with the submissions of our counsel yesterday in opposition to the motion of the NPP. I can tell you they have no case. They will be thrown out on the 28th of January. We are prepared for the rerun. So we are continuing our campaign as we speak now. Our teams are on the ground. They are doing the campaign. And so we are okay. We are fine. It has even given us additional days to campaign before the 28th.
But is the party satisfied with how the case is progressing at the Supreme Court?
Very much satisfied. Very, very much satisfied. In fact, we presented our case before them. I mean, we were very clear in our mind that there was no error whatsoever in relying on the 6th January Gazette because the Gazette emanated from the Electoral Commission. Because the NPP brought it as exhibit attached to the affidavit praying at the Tamale High Court to dismiss our earlier application of 23rd December 2024. And then the Electoral Commission did not oppose it. They didn't see anything wrong with it. So they were in concert with the NPP, thinking that the trial judge would dismiss our application and then they will get to go. Unfortunately, we also went ahead and we drew that 23rd one and filed fresh one on 25th January 2025 so that we could fall within the 21 days. After we have achieved this and at the case management, 3 issues were set down for trial. They didn't bring up the issue of 24th Gazette again. There was nothing of that nature. That is why we cited them for fraud, both the Electoral Commission and the NPP. Time and again, I've been saying that this current NPP is just an offshoot of NPP. The Electoral Commission I'm talking of, they are offshoot of NPP. Because whatever the NPP is doing, they are in support of them. That's yesterday in court. They brought in an affidavit in support of the NPP, the claim of another 24 December. What kind of hypocrisy is that?
Now, Rashid, we understand that this adjournment is not affecting the NDC's confidence in the case in any way. But what message does the NDC have for the supporters in Pandai following this delay? Because they were expecting a by-election, an election in the constituency some time ago. That did not happen. It is the dates keep changing and they do not have certainty. I'm talking about their levels of preparedness. So what message will you give your supporters in Pandai after this second delay?
I say that they should continue the campaign as we indicated to them yesterday. They should continue their house-to-house campaign, appealing to the good people of Pandai to vote for the NDC. Of course, I know the rerun will come. because the 28th, the MPP and their collaborators, Electoral Commission, will be dismissed. They cannot eat their cake and have it. You cannot intentionally create something and turn around to benefit the same thing that you have created to deceive the trial judge, and expecting that the Supreme Court should award you this kind of relief that you are looking for. No.
I see. Rashid, thank you. We'll get back to you for more. Rashid, thank you. Thank you so much. Rashid Tanko Computer is the Deputy Director of Elections of the party in government, the NDC, speaking with us there. Haji Yakundo. Alaji, I'm greeting you myself. The people will not greet you alone. Call us on 0559242717 or 0556910154. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my good brother.
Sir, your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, Collins from Amamole.
Collins, Amamole. Let me listen to you. Be brief, sir.
Fantastic. Let me take this good opportunity to greet Dr. Akwesi Mensah, Chief Executive Officer of the Shipyard, BSC, and Ashimo, NDC Greater Accra Regional Chairman. I'll go straight to this. That's what I heard. They are coming to dismiss Professor Frimpong Wati. And MPP, as a political party, it seems they are not serious at all. Because, look, we are here in this country and we hate the top hierarchy, that's the General Secretary, the Chairman, and so forth, that they are giving amnesty. Those who led the party, they are bringing all on board. Today, what have changed? Look, MPP, we have been telling them they should go back to drawing board because they lose that, they lose. It seems it affects them heavily. So they are desperate. Look, today, miracle. Many people follow. Oko Joma, look, it's reflecting in personality. Yes.
Amen, thank you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Master today. Nice. I'm listening. I'm listening.
My uncle or friend,
I understand.
But you are the paper, Minchon, and Mincham Conscience Chairman. HMS in the procedure. MC on a whistle, so on Banini. Namiko good border, $1 million Ginana, at my Yancy de Gina, and then make sure they are coming or this electoral commission, agent Mensa, and her deputies, and the IT, our MPP, and Yanchan. And for boss my money and count because we've been to that will be our Maui. The or member executive where a different job to help a regime or your failure. Your co-election, it been since 1992. You to me declare your presidential will result more than 8 times. Danianya or Maya as from Viewoma. The message cannot tell Army now. There, on not your oil and Sabuaqua, and to obey no basis, a young way my electoral loss. The CI 127 trader. And won't Jemenson or declare any parliamentary where they be a resort to Diana. Otherwise, and there, and Arsenal, if you go to court, into your new recollection, via. Ewa Nankasa Jemensa Nankasa electoral loss. yeah, you saw a Techman South in the year 2020 where elections are yeah, bunk or foot red and yeah, cool. Now, a declare at the Pandai. As a gazette in more than twice. Now, you want us to agree with say first one no and no nya papa, but second one na papa. And to declare abundance a gazette how many times at the time now there. I there on one you mention about my sorry or way can easy or more no a boy democracy.
Prekase, thank you. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, my brother.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Abolo. You can call me Mr. Common Sense.
Mr. Common Sense. Abolo, I'm listening.
Chama Jasper of Tema West, I greet him this morning. He said, agenda maintain Tema West seat and increase the vote. Alaji Akundo, in charge of operation, is listening to you, and it's good to greet him, and I'll deliver the message as he's listening. And Lawyer Zuma, Tema Port Director, and your own brother, Courage McCaffrey Nekpeku, TDC, MD. My brother, I keep saying on this network that Minister of Trade need to raise the bar, and I'm happy he visit this Abosokan. Yeah, I keep saying it on this platform. It's good for Ghanaians to know that the ministers are engaging with the stakeholders so that they can be judging themselves. If you are a citizen, and you know the way now the city have disgraced the dollar by the good work of 240 Samiji Fidens, and you are not engaging the stakeholders, and then Ghanaians may not know what is happening. They went there and they hear what is happening, the way the sellers are telling them about the Goro boys, and that's what we need. The ministers should be engaging the stakeholders because NDC have done well, and Ghanaians know. But the sellers or the traders, the wickedness of some of them, we have to expose them. So I'm happy, Honorable this is Elizabeth Ofosojari. I've been listening to 3FM, and I've taken that step.
Right.
As for Electoral Commission, I know the idea, the way Iran will come, and I like the way Dr. Computer is saying, we'll be going to our house-to-house campaign, and we'll take that seat from the MPP. For MPP sacking people there, I know that is their hallmark, so they should continue.
Abolo, thank you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Lincoln.
Lincoln, it's been long. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Talk to me. I'm fine, thank you.
Yes. Let me go to my place and my regards to my MP, Honorable Linda Okru, the Greater Accra Minister, and the DCE for the Child Sudoku for teaming up, working together to make sure the group of Sudoku are gradually seeing the change and reset President Mahama has brought to the group of Child Sudoku and across the country. Yeah, I want to talk about our road.
Please do.
Pantine Hospital. From the main road when we are going to Mountain to Pantine Hospital and beyond, my brother. That is a road leading to the hospital. And you can send your men one of these days to come and have a look at the road. It's not good at all, my brother.
Right.
It's not good. It's not good. Ayalolo is on that road, and last there was a fire outbreak towards the hospital, and this fire service had nearly had an accident. It was a very bad scene. Luckily that the vehicle is very, very heavy. So I'm appealing to the government, the road minister. Something needs to be done about that road. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning, my brother. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I am not fine, but I'll be fine. I think the previous caller knew what was in my mind.
Right.
Trust me, I've been listening to your station, Joy. And look, it saddens my heart when I listen to people trying to defend the indefensible. Look, my brother, if 3 News or Johnny Hughes or anybody can put in an RTI from the time NPP came into power and the time they left, how much money has been given to the road ministry and what work has been done so far? Look, you cry for Mother Ghana. Look, we are the cause of our own problems. Look, nobody is setting Ghana. we the people in this country, we are killing ourselves. Look, from Adenta to Dodowa. Look, it's sad. Why? Why are we doing this to our own self? If Ghana were to be somebody's personal company, would they want it like this? No. Look, our roads are so terrible and so bad to the extent that even if you are living in your house, somebody's house, I wish you come up and give roads that, okay, this road is bad, this road is good, this road is bad. Because it's so terrible. Everywhere is terrible. Every road in Ghana is terrible. Why? And we've given so much money, so much, and nothing is coming out. And every day.
I understand the road is under construction.
No, my brother. Let's call a spade, not a big spoon. How much money has been given to that ministry, and what has come out? So sometimes when Mahama speaks, I don't do politics, but when Mahama speaks, I feel like sometimes wisdom is coming out of his mouth. Because you wonder why people will sit down and then steal from the purses of our own country, and later come and tell you, and we are doing it, and it's being done. What is being done?
I understand.
From Accra Mall to Tama End, that motorway stretch. In Kuma, in the 70s and 60s or whatever, did this route. When it got to your turn, look at what you did.
My brother, thank you. I feel your pain. Hello, good morning. Mejoso.
Pacho Unia Kumani Kwasipuk, Mikasafru on Abo Sadam Afenyo, MP Papa constituency Amasamai.
Pacho Moanonko.
Commander Mamichia Koliklote constituency chairman Benjamin and Opai Ubakwasipuk Michia Papa. Opanikasi and Panifosi say Oba Ahwinie Etiwom Pamwa, Neye Ejuma Dene Abema Wayentia. Dr. Frimpon Boatin. Baby or one Yankupon Shranene Kasapa or Katre or my Ghana. No, or saying the way our MPP in your political party on bet me about my Ghana, Yadanasi. Seven in the Casa walk and a Casa a beer yardin. And Mamma Bruna Yaban, you near my baby. Sebi or my Ghana, okay? NDC ni MPP, you cut development of this country, MPP to me fan home to NDC. Tampo, a ban economist, everything, and then political party, a friend said MPP on better Ghana, Konyasu 8 years, and almost finance minister, Ghana for Ghana because of Bonia Omudi Ghana and tea. It is a doctor for Bob Wati can't say we are MPP for more come on to. If we move back to Konyasu, Mutimi Bubu General Hospital, Ewa Labadi Polyclinic, Mubu Nina, Guyaman Timi and see General Hospital, Bakumpo, and Fama Ghana, move free Ghana, Konyasu, now railways. Kwaya Eda from Accra to someone way in that Yenda was now toward it is our political party with Dr. Frepo Wati, Komanumasam, Atreya, Moye de say, Mamicha Laji Akondo, now men can't any Juma power, you know, cause no Ninisani or Bobiada, and this in California. Commander is one time a Besha or Pipeano, Unia Quasipo Kunibedawa.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Yes.
Is that Noble?
Yes, Noble here.
This is Papa Biso on the line. Greetings to you,
it's
to
been
Johnny,
long.
and then Helen and the rest of the team. My brother, so refreshing to hear the trade minister, Honorable Elizabeth Fosu-Jare engaging with Abuso-Kan people who are mostly for the MPP. I know when MPP came to power, they drastically reduce your prices, but when it's the turn of the NDCC, what they are doing. So it was good that the minister was there. The work rate of the minister of trade is so remarkable. Same as, have you been to TDC before? The work rate of, the CEO of TDC, the TDC boss, Ori McCaffrey. The work rate so fantastic. So as, the humility of him, emulating that of Chief of Staff, Zebra. Then, work rate of the Bank of Ghana governor. You know, Family really praise the governor, Siama. So I will have to just thank Ghanaians for really voting out the NDC. And all grace to the Almighty God for giving Ghanaians the wisdom to kick out these people. Look, they say what? They are sacking Dr. Frimpong Boateng from their party. What a disgraceful party that they have. Sacking Dr. Frimpong Boateng and the others. Instead of you to really encourage him, your party that has, I don't know how to describe the party now. Charlie, let me have a bit. Allow this to
Papa, thank you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Elias, calling from the GSA.
Elliot, I'm listening.
Yeah. Be about what here?
Yamia dum now swear.
Papa. Minia. Oshi NPP. Yenja Omasamamo. Because Omonia serious. Fejuma. The last Meko Akosobo. Fejuma. President Ma. Abu Akosobo Road. Fruho. Afrahu. And that President Mahama for 1 year. Master, they say a call us no. Yeba a achievement. President Mahama here. Because I am for the opposition. Pache. President Mahama. Thank God. We come back to Ghana. Setting Ghana. Better setting Ghana for Thank you.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, my brother.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Mpacho Aziz,
Aziz, I'm listening.
Yo, mention. Mpacho, Mamencha TDC Director Karis Makafi, and a lawyer Zuma, Upoto Tema West in Osula, Gasfa, your friend GM, incoming chairman over there, Esremo, Monka Papano, also increase Fotuno. And over Domekwa Benya. My only MC, Mr. Agbu, Papa Neo Ye Juma Fokin. Yami Enshirano Papa. See, I'm MC, you know, top. Back to MPP. Whether me pacho, sa 8 years, na MPP, ebe di omo we nusuna. Omo nchire say, I just say, and the yama omo we, I'm on a conem. But say, diba, no more cases, Mama, a casa, no shenning. Mpacho, na kufa dumpua, or casampo yetimation and him. I'm at Onupa. Yami eyimo mano no ye jumopa e da bo ma we mo o say me brad atapla o kasembi tam pantai side ho no o ye problem papa e ko aboko bi side ho no o say also no hospital ni she corner bi e wo ho nti sa hospital no a say trafficking e si wo ho a no nipa yare na e di ne kwa na aye problem bi nti sa kwan no ye very important so mo be sa kwan no dodo wa kwan na ye kan no so no a de bia me wo say contract agusu no omo ye adwuma no MPP ba 8 years no omo nkyere ye se e kwase na ye na akufado o gira ye nim o ka kire ye se wa ye kwan na wo ga na anyina and the finance minister the bia the road who the oye and o ma disika no ma jane e so ma we mu nti me sere me government no a obi bia ro di o ma ni sika no a omo nchi ni ntum because you see ECG no ye can adani ye head sometimes ago no and the ECG no excellency John Dramani Mahama wa clear a car no yami enshira no
Medase. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Me pacho your friend I Claude. This is Zenu Kunkatamanso.
Hi Claude, I'm listening.
Yeah, many of you can see when say Ghana BBC the no 3 FM. Mame fa kwanya we enchia me papa ba ko your friend chief won say wo krom na say aduani ni kro nu ma da bia basa wo kro nu mu asunwie ni kro nu mu nche ko bia omunya aduani di omasumju wo nti mame nchia honorable Erikopoku your friend chief Kofi Afrifa ene anopay mame nchia suhu deputy incoming deputy women organizer your friend Dorothy Naki na DNN o wa ho brase papa nti edusu na mokoto man abana Montoma Dorothy Naki na women deputy women organizer na mencha college chairman chairman Joe we bi o bia na no pay chia no mini abema manya kan say hwe oman mu ayewo yi eya na ye nuanum MPP for omutwetwe ya sododo e ka me nko a ankemfo mu nkogu kuro na chi baabi na omu nkofom na omu ho ho ena ko ochina ko nia omo ya na ntimi inform ma power ne inform ma power o china. Just imagine omo nipa 5 now omo ba be omo gina ni nyina na ensem a wo omo ho no esren de wo ho. O man panyin aba. Se ankomo ko na ankomo ko tonto meboa. Bo man panyin bi o nyansa papa bi na odwen o man no ho no. Oba ye no. Wabeya ma to ye adwuma e me ye nya mfaso wo so. Omo di Ghana Airways o man panyin kufu abreso omo di be ye choba. Ene o man panyin gusu a oni mpanyifo amaman kasa omo beba Ghana Airways ebeba so kre obia ene wu kotu kwan a ye benya Ghana Airways die tu kwan weni o man panyin papa wo ye adwuma wahu na ye kan we se no mo sole no mo na mana koko ene ye so mo ye kantafiko se so mo to ada ho afra enframa bo ama akoko to ada ho se o mo anu mu twa mo ye so mo ye kantafik wahu entimi de ye ka ankameka se we no mo no ye ni ye mfomu mbu o man Oma maminka we say from Katamansu mayor oye adwuma hwe na no du nyina me kofa mi she camp gate na no push big push machine se gu a omugusu ye adwuma nyina nwumre ya no pedu abonso mu ye adwuma ona bu ti Kenya min shira.
Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Frank Narudio, Dominion Mayor.
Okay, I'm listening to you, sir.
Yo, open and pay my member. Happy birthday, Emma, Police and Texas, Great Accra, the chairman. On one side, a chairman communication officer, or a Great Accra communication team member. And our young Police and Texas, the chairman, two, a chairman. And then, I mean, 4 videos, I mean, I mean, spring and go for Adam. You and Kosovo, and what the Yansa, and my chairman, too. And go for Kosovo, and then you. And also, doing your piece, and why is that here? If you more chair, you will position of why every day. Opening a MP4. Send on mobile on button to Ghana Capadi, Yang NDC and Tisa. Opening, yes, I some many are dancing, you check only at the dance here. And in the Ghana Airways, a wife. On my body before, I want to come so it's in your Jesus. Only to be told 80 years. Ya papa mahama ba na nyuma na agugu o shemukena MBA and a to na ya nyuma 217 and another for the bawia tam to na we fa and the boss ya nyuma den that am down more na we fa ya ba ya pe and your papa ma ya be mo twuma no e den no mo ko shama mfochi e mo ko ka se o mo ton we get my for mo twuma kana nyuma mo omunya ureshema omunya to abama abama no say mama baije enya dia obeton Ghana Japadi bia dia to so mienu head minister ono dia daras so far through that we otu anamo dia do be minister of ministry bia ken ka se betrance office wo dia se tu anamo okwa aboso ka mane so a onko mokola onko kwanshi onko kokompe onko ba bia onko moons no ni nuafo and mom to provision omo mo to tensi onu obi ankwasa so mo tete ni ma so because papa mama bai opani you na perform on sango GPS no ni GPS for the ponka.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Tell me Papa Niama.
Oh, Papa Ni, I'm listening.
I'm calling from Igbo town. For me, I'm even worried about the electoral commission. The deputy who once said on the national radio that NDC is a threat to democracy is not even ashamed of himself to resign from office. He's still there waiting for him to be sacked. Thank you. Enjoy your day. Bye.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Oh, not bad at all. This is your brother from Kwabenya.
Eben, I'm listening.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Eben, loud and clear.
Thank you. Let me also add my voice and say happy birthday to Syria College and Tested Chairman Joe of Ashama. He's also communication officer in Ashama. God richly bless him for the human job doing for the party and also supporting the material collects and tests that. So, Chairman Joe, I salute you this morning. May the good Lord in heaven take good care of you and your family. You see, let me also say thank you to the trade minister for now going out talking towards the traders, because we now all know how the economy is well. City has appreciated. So, traders of Abusokan, we are pleading with you. Please reduce more, at least 80% of your goods, and also the drivers. At times, Crosby, when I'm talking about these drivers, it really hurts my soul, because these drivers will be saying Abusokan having reduced their fares and everything. When the Abusokan people reduce, these drivers will not even reduce. And even if we talk how it reduce them, then if from where I am in Kwabenya to Tudu, they won't go straight away. Short. Something that you have to take nicely. By the time we realize it is what? Almost 21 Ghana. We are pleading with the drivers. Please do the needful. And as I'm concluding, Crosby, I don't know. As Media Journal also cross-check of this NACA thing that they said they have withdrawn due to, bringing this LGBT. Have you cross-checked? How true is it?
We'll deal with it. We'll take care of it.
I'm pleading with what? His Excellency, the President. We are begging you. This NACA thing, NACA people, the leadership over them are good. They did this thing in 2019. And look at the tension they brought into the country. And also, why are we doing this? We say we don't like LGBT in this country. We don't want our children to be taught of this. Please be here. Because no care is not taken. That we will mash up that we will do it.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Ninua.
Ni, I'm listening.
Thank you. The good work we are doing for Mother Ghana. God bless you. Don't use an ELA. I get everybody. When you be, Mr. MP, some of the road, rough road, machines, new assembly, air. Say, Omuye, Juma, now, no man, you know, Omuye, Juma, it's Mr. Omuchimia, a Juma, no kind, a Jawa, and let the Quinani, just about Omubo, anything I get to Abama. Secondly, MPP, Muko opposition, how many years in ye? Now, Mukam. On better opposition at FCT, Rolling said, it is no more than one set chameleon, no wonder, so to much. Someone from support 100% in Major Mama, me say, MPP better opposition at said we need him, and say, I didn't hear the boo of mine, or Munibi, so to much. Or Mupisha Mama, not Chirom, I didn't hear the boo of mine, and Sana on Betumaba, power, Midasi, Tamado, happy birthday, God bless you so much. Bye bye.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. Okay.
Yamiadom now swear.
I know family. I can't know my penny.
Casamitio.
We are one down from the local Africa. Container no, container no, and I'm the Sujina. Na intia Cheva Joe, na me mano, happy birthday. Joe, Yamenka, what it? And I say that, and also the Shamakwa, all the way I can check with him, papa, and I'm not in sure. Opening, you become. Of what thing? I tell you, Waka away. And only the word I tell you, MPP member, after MPP one. Nibsana. Because you need second in Japan, it's me can never be green. MPP. I didn't know suspended. Yana, what you are at Papa way. Public sector uniform, MPP bless, no, take over. And some men one come for MPP home. I don't MPP once suspended. And your time and I pay a day. MPP Ankasan, Omun, baby of the party neighbor. And you never know what I did that say. The Ghana for your focus, never supported John Mama because I don't know the Mayano, and I'm a papa. And the way you will find it after 30 years, it's about support to 100% will be to us.
Hello, good morning.
Mr. Cosby.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Good morning. This is your brother Anan.
I'm listening to you, Anan.
And the power my member of Queen is Nemintia, Honorable Joe Shama, Memana Afin Shapa, Yankupon, Yan Cassan on one home. And Mincha me MP Honorable Saddam Afin. Na papa bi si omi tia wa no pay ene abrodo ni obia the cause be na me bra John when catch say afi no oni Ellen na ya fi omo na anɔpɛ issues no menim sɛnea yɛnka no mepakyɛ o MPP for ɔmsɛ Professor Frimpong Boateng wayɛ dɛn wonim deɛ nti a papa no ayɛ abufuo kɛseɛ no ɔmsɛ galamsey na wɔn ampanyinfoɔ no hyɛ mu a wɔn nyɛ sika no ɛho nsɛm na ɔbɔɔ ne yie o nti ɔno no deɛ adwene a wɔn wɔ wɔn ho no ɔno onim nanso yɛkɔ mpa sɛ yɛkɔpɔn ɔmo ano na no korɔ ka ɔbɛma ɔman no ayɛ yie ɛnyɛ yie ɛna bra abosuo kan yɛsrɛ president ɛne yɛsrɛ other political members a sika wɔ wɔn ho mete sɛ mmerɛ bi na wɔn nso wɔn de abosuo kan anes o sɛ de bɛkɔ dodo wɔ ahɔ side baabi wɔn mbie na other way for wɔn nso wɔ sika no mbie shop no bi abosuo kan akɔyɛ MPP anes nti no ama bibia adentia spare part up to now wɔn ntumi nte so kakra ma drivers ɛne ɔtemamufoɔ many I am in.
Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
My name is Daniel Shita. I'm calling from Amole.
Daniel, I'm listening.
This one, let me take the opportunity to say a very good morning to my able, hardworking CEO of DVLA. Since Honorable Logasco took office as CEO of DVLA, DVLA has become a wonderful institution. And let me say a good morning to my MC, Honorable Akweti Agbo, Gandalf Municipal Assembly. The guy is doing marvelous work in my constituency. May God give him the strength and wisdom to continue. My brother, all I want to say, mine goes to my party, NDC. 2016, the strategy the NPP used 2016, that worked for them. That is the same strategy they want to use this time around. And 2016, our communication was very weak. So that is why they were able to throw dust into the eyes of Ghanaians. And Ghanaians fall for them, and then we put ourselves into that hardship. But it will not repeat itself again. I am asking our leaders, the communication, NDC communication leaders, to strengthen our communication front so that we can counter every lies that the MPP come out with. We must not sit down and watch them have their way this time around, because Ghana is on good track and we can't afford to go back to that hardship they took us to. My brother, let me end here for someone to continue. Have a good day.
You too. Take care. Thank you. 42717 or 0556910154. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, I am Ben calling you from New Achimota.
Ben, I'm listening.
Please, let me ask this. I want to be little inquisitive. Johnny is here, man.
Johnny is around.
Hey, it's a long time. This man, the way he is not giving us our food every morning, he is costing us a lot of time.
In fact, he'll come and anyway, he'll give you everything you want. He'll come and feed you, okay?
Okay. My regards to all your colleagues over there. You see, anytime, if the Bible says that we should pray for our enemies, okay, when our enemies are hungry, you should give them food to eat and others. But when you look at the nature of NPPN, being the main enemies of Ghana, I'm not sure Ghanaians will wish them to stand in opposition. I'm not sure. Because looking at the way they are trying to change up the main leaders of the party, so that they, the young guys, the young men, can have their way through, it will not happen. And me personally, I wish to say I will one day wake up from bed, now let to say NPP party so that Ghana will never go back and go and make that kind of mistakes now. Yeah, 20 start mistaking for mine. I can see about your mother, some, I don't want to for you. That mistake will never come back again. And I want to speak about the trade minister. He should not sit down. He should enforce it. Because so, what do I know? Like, measures better will be to me, said no. They are reducing prices at Abusokan. Let me applaud these people. When we are going to domain from Akamo, from my sovereign to domain market and those places, I have been seeing some guys here almost share green and so maybe they are directing traffic. And for the past 1 week, I started sending more. I can say so the traffic from that junction from Echo, the road is now open. And whoever is behind that kind of initiatives now, I commend him to do more. Because the traffic over there, when they allow the market women, they will take over the road. Like the way they have taken La Paz. The way they have taken La Paz, so we should not allow them. They should continue so that we can even have a flow.
Thank you.
A flow on our way. Thank you very much.
Senior Cassia to be dead in Tino. And so
So hope, brighter days. There's hope that the Black Stars will do better.
Oh, goodness.
There's hope that Coach Otto will go and the Black Stars will
I mean, you not stay in Ghana forever.
When you people are unable to progress out of the group stages
of the World Cup,
and you start
the World Cup will leave the group stages,
and you start making noise. We'll all be here to listen to Murtala.
In fact,
and all the people who know what they should say, but they are refusing to say.
Because of you, Ghana will do exceptionally well at the World Cup.
Amen. I am not against that. Amen.
So
in fact,
when Ghana gets to the quarterfinals, will you still want Otto Addo?
No, it depends on his performance.
Yeah. But
the fact that the team may even get to the finals, but not with the instruction of the coach.
So it's with what?
The sheer determination of the boys. They want to wear medal.
If they lose, the other one is the coach.
No. Me, I don't do those analysis. I try to be fair. I always try to be fair. I always try to be fair.
Murtala,
but there's nothing I've said about Otto Addo that Murtala, Bill, Pastor, what's his name again? Oreku. They have not agreed with me.
Who is the one you're calling pastor now?
Oreku. He's not a pastor. There's nothing I've said they haven't agreed it's just that they don't say it on air.
Okay. How else do you want the man to impress you? Because
it's sheer hate or time.
If he's qualified for a World Cup, that is massive. That is his second World Cup with the Black Stars. He's not even played the World Cup yet, but you are even doubting he would perform well with the team at the World Cup.
I was just telling you people how I was watching some of the compilations of Semenyo on TikTok.
Yeah.
I just chanced upon some of the goals that he scored on TikTok. And I keep asking and that compilation, none of them, by the way, none of them was from the Black Stars. And I keep asking myself, is it the same Semenyo who plays on the Black Stars?
Yeah.
Is it the same person?
It's the same person.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when he's at the club side, he's doing so well. He's crisscrossing and scoring and striking and everything from. But when he's here, he struggles to get even one goal.
There are 1,001 factors.
And the coach is not part of those 1,001 factors.
The coach is not the only 1,001.
See, we need a holistic conversation about why our players are struggling at the Black Stars. And it's not just Otto Addo. We've seen players.
It's been throughout.
Even before Otto Addo came in.
After the Michaelasian Munchari appeared.
Era faded out. Most players have not really had it when it comes to the Black Stars. But with Otto Addo, don't you see hope?
Hope. I see hope in the players.
Not the coach.
Not the coach.
What happened to support your own?
I'm supporting my own.
I want to play this one.
And my own is Ghana.
Sarkodie calls this one.
Otto Addo is not Ghanaian.
Otto Addo is Ghanaian. But you see, when you watch Otto Addo, and I've made this point before, his interventions are never, ever intervening enough.
If you have the chance of meeting Otto Addo one-on-one, what would be that word that you tell him?
Now it's too late to go to the World Cup without you. But bring on somebody who knows better than you and can help the team through the World Cup.
Somebody like
if we had a year before the World Cup, one word, resign.
Resign after the World Cup.
I'm saying if we had 1 year before the World Cup, it would have just been one word, resign.
But the year Cote d'Ivoire won the AFCON, they changed
2023.
They changed their coach in the tournament.
In the tournament, yes.
So we can still do it, Anna.
No, we cannot.
Why? We'll go after first game, then we'll change.
The people that Murtala doesn't want to speak against, the GFA president and his people, they are too involved in the running of the Black Stars.
But that is their duty is to run football.
You know, their duty is to run football, but you have a team manager.
Their biggest brand. The team manager is part of the GFA. Aminu Shado.
You have a team manager. Yeah. Is the team manager having the free hand to operate, or the team manager is being dictated to?
In fact, there's hardly a team in the world that the team manager has free hand to operate. Even from
there's hardly a job where the manager has a free hand.
Do you know we have about 5 months to the World Cup?
Is it not less?
It's in June, so we have about five solid months to the World Cup.
So in terms of preparation, we should have been ready by now. Are we ready?
Who said we are not ready?
Who said we are not ready?
I'm asking, are we ready?
But we're asking who said we are not ready.
Are we ready?
We have. If we want to select 25 players for a tournament, we will get.
If the tournament is tomorrow, we'll get.
If we need money to airlift the players to wherever.
I think the money is already ready. The money was ready even before this one.
We have arranged friendly matches against the likes of Germany. So what shows we are not ready?
Germany?
Yes, we'll play Germany in March.
Okay. To come. Yes. I thought the two that we played that we didn't see top.
No, we'll play Germany in March. So what shows we are not ready?
The two friendlies that we played, which we use our team A to play their team B, and we didn't see top. Germany is coming. Are we using our team A or team B?
We are using the team A.
Okay, to play their
team A.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but even team A, team B, team C, it's not the same country.
It's the same Ghana.
No, it's not the same team.
If Blasters goes to play US, if US uses They are second division. It's not US that we are playing against.
They still represent the US.
No. You shouldn't be making this argument.
They still represent
this
the
is a technical conversation he's raising.
No, then
how do you tell me that your team A will come up against a Division 1 side? And probably the Division 1 side will beat you.
There's not Division 1
or
side.
you will say
the country's team. If you are representing,
no, I'm using the
like recently, we use that.
It's a technical conversation.
Like recently, Ghana used the local Black Stars to go and play the South African national team itself.
That one is different.
They beat us.
And yes, it's a local. That one is different.
They beat us.
No,
how is it different?
Listen to
you raise the argument.
They beat us.
And the point he's making is actually.
They were saying they've beaten Ghana. They didn't say that they've beaten the local Black
Stars. No.
They said they've beaten Ghana.
The local Black Stars competition
on
is
the outside,
the
Chan one. On the outside, that's the argument you make. But when you are doing a technical analysis of the team, it's not the same argument you will make.
Yes.
That your local Black Stars. Your local Black Stars should be as strong as the other one is called what? International Black Stars.
No, the Black Stars.
So I'm coming. So right now, if we play a tournament and maybe Ghana uses solid team A, and then another team uses their what you call team B, and they score.
I'm not the one calling it.
Okay. And they score Ghana. Would they get 3 points or they'll get 2 points?
That's not it.
Because I want to ask him one final question before you ask. So you see a team with Jordan Ayew, Mohamed Kudus, Antoine Semenyo, Iñaki Williams, Alexander Jiku, you have Benjamin Asare, Ali Dusedu. You see a team of superstars. And potentially we could even have Andre Ayew being part of the Black Stars. You think this team is not good enough to be able to come up against the best in the world?
I think I've been very consistent. I've said that the tournament we are getting into, there will be a lot of determination on the part of the players because they also want to wear the medals home.
Yes.
There's not a single player on the team who doesn't want to win. And to be fair to the coach, nobody can argue the coach doesn't want to win. The coach would want to win.
But
Black Sherry said something in one of his songs. He said he hates the man, don't hate the message.
I don't hate Otto Addo. In fact, I like him for the mere fact that he's a Ghanaian coach in the team. But I don't like the interventions that he makes. I have a problem with the way he utilizes the players. And I'm sure that if we are drilling down into this, you will agree with me on some of the scores. That the players that he seemed to be struggling to use, those same players are being used at their club levels and they are performing miracles. But when it gets to the national team, then the players are not finding their feet. That is where you are now beginning to question not the talent or skill of the player, but the management of the coach.
But I also told you there are 1,001 factors why these boys are not also performing when they come to the Black Stars.
Is it a pitch? Is it a pitch?
And we can like it. No,
is it a pitch?
No, it goes beyond that.
Is it that they are not getting the money?
I can give you 999 reasons. And Otuado will be just the one.
Give me only the 9. Give me only the 9 reasons.
See.
Mama said it takes a village. So my boy them locked in women. We the voice of the streets outside. We the voice of the voiceless period.
Let's now do some sports here on 3FM Sunrise. My name is Mutala Yakubu. Coming up this morning, Ghanaian referee Daniel Laye is said to be at the center of affairs when Morocco, the host nation, take on Nigeria in the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. And also, it is good form for Antoine Semenyo as he gets on target for Manchester City in the second time running when they beat Newcastle United. And also, we'll talk about Manchester United because Michael Carragher is now the interim head coach. Let's start off with some news from the continent where Ghanaian referee Daniel Laye has been appointed to take charge of the highly anticipated Africa Cup of Nations 2025 semi-final clash between host Morocco and Nigeria. The semi-final on Wednesday will be Laye's second game with the whistle at the AFCON, having already been in charge of the group stage showdown between Algeria and Burkina Faso. My colleague Bill Eshen, who is stationed in Rabat, has more in the following reports.
So in less than 24 hours, the semi-final game between Morocco and Nigeria will be taking place at the Prince Moulay Abdallah Stadium, which is right behind me. But the big news coming in involving a Ghanaian is that Daniel Laye will be the central referee for that particular match. Now, Laye was the central referee in the group stage game between Algeria and Burkina Faso and was on VAR duty as Morocco defeated Cameroon by 2-0 in the quarterfinals of the 2025 AFCON. Laye has a lot of experience on the continent, having managed a number of CAF Champions League games, CAF Confederation Cup games, and also was a referee in the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations, which took place in Cameroon. But this happens to be the biggest match that he would be officiating as a central referee in the semi-finals of an AFCON, and there has been a number of reactions that have been coming in on social media, mostly from the Nigerian camp. Some of them believe that since Ghanaians are rivals to Nigeria, this might not bode well for them, whilst others have cited the love for the jollof as something that could be a blessing in disguise. But as these two countries take on each other at this particular stadium, there would also be spotlight on Daniel Laye to deliver a fair officiating as these two sides try to book a place in the final of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations.
So it's today in the semi-finals of the Africa Cup of Nations. Daniel Laye, the Ghanaian referee, will be at the center of affairs. Now, the Super Eagles are seeking to win the competition for the first time since 2013 after finishing as runners-up in the 2023 edition in Ivory Coast. Ahead of the tie against Morocco, head coach of the side, Eric Schill, says the Super Eagles are ready for the encounter.
No, this is a big game, semi-final. We played our last game against Algeria. It was a good game for us. Now, a big game against a big team. So, we will enter slowly in this game because we have a last training session today. And we will be ready for tomorrow. Algeria was the biggest test. Morocco is the biggest test. Every game is the biggest test for this team because the expectation is so big. So we are ready for this game, for all of these games that we play in this tournament. We try to play every game like the last, and we will give everything, and we gave everything.
Meanwhile, Nigerian forward Victor Osimhen believes the Super Eagles have what it takes to overcome Morocco despite the threat, talent, and strong home support.
They have a very good squad, talented players, but I think we are one of the most feared teams in this tournament, considering the kind of talent we have in the squad. But I think there is no pressure within the camp. There is no pressure. We don't even talk about it within ourselves. We just take one game as they come. We just played a very big nation, Algeria. We just display something that the whole world see that, yeah, these guys are really up for this trophy. But just like I used to say, it's not going to be easy. Of course, the Moroccans are playing in front of the thousands of their crowd, which is an advantage for them. But I think many of us here has played in a stadium where there is 80, 90 capacity. So for me personally, there's absolutely no pressure at all. I don't even think about it. I just focus on my team, and then when the day of the game comes, we give everything, and then we hope for the win for us. But it's not going to be easy, but I think we've got a chance.
So the game is today, where Nigeria would come up against Morocco, and Egypt would also be taking on Senegal. Big games to look forward to. Still on the Africa Cup of Nations, 4 African coaches head into the semi-finals of this tournament. For the first time in the Africa Cup of Nations history, all 4 semi-finalists are led by African coaches, ensuring that the tournament will be won by a homegrown tactician for the 4th consecutive edition. My colleague Bill Eshani, who is currently in Morocco, spoke to a few journalists who believe the African game has come of age.
Come out from Africa. Let me also take you back that the last 2 editions of this tournament have been won by African managers. So it tells you that if we believe in our managers, support them, give them the confidence they truly need, they would continue to excel regardless of where they find themselves. And out of all these managers, the 4 managers remaining in this tournament, only Nigeria's Super Eagles manager Eric Sekou Chel happens to be a Malian coaching the Nigerian team. The other 3 teams are coached by their local coaches, managers who are groomed from the nation, who played for the country at some point, and now are now saddled with the responsibility of coaching the nation. So basically, I would continue to emphasize that the best of Africa can only be seen and exported by Africans.
Yeah, but if you look at all the coaches, they have first-rate experience in Europe. Most of them have their UEFA Pro licenses in Europe. Yes, they are African, but they have the European training background experience. So they are no different from their colleagues in Europe.
African football has always been fantastic, and it's unfortunate that the football calendar does not showcase that to the whole world. But I'm very, very happy. I'm very, very happy because 4 coaches are showing their brilliance. One of them went to the semi-finals of the World Cup, so he's shown his brilliance. Eric Chel is a coach that has come out from the ashes. So you can say he's a phoenix, and he's shown his phoenistic abilities.
Thoughts from some African journalists concerning the semi-final and the 4 coaches who are handling these teams. Let's now head to Europe, where Manchester United have announced the appointment of Michael Carrick as head coach of the men's team until the end of the 2025-26 season. Carrick takes over from Ruben Amorim. Now let's do some more, where Antoine Semenyo electrifying start to Manchester City career continued on Tuesday night as the Ghanaian once again delivered on the big stage, firing Pep Guardiola's side closer to a place in the Carabao Cup final. Semenyo scored the first goal in the first leg of the EFL semi-final clash against champions Newcastle United, and after the game, Semenyo spoke.
I think the whole environment here is perfect. Everyone's confident and wanting to achieve the best. So I've just come into that, and they've helped me with my confidence and made me feel welcome. It's been a lot, definitely been a lot, but I've enjoyed it so far. I'm definitely picking up things very quickly, and yeah, I'm enjoying it, like I said. Yeah, I mean, I'm just taking the confidence that I had from Bournemouth here, and yeah, like I said, playing with a smile on my face. So I'm enjoying every moment. Second goal should have counted. The referee came and spoke to me and told me what was going on, but yeah, it's what it is.
And today, there's a big one. Arsenal would also come up against Chelsea in the second game of the semi-final. Away from that, let's do some more, where Ghana has taken another decisive step towards safeguarding the integrity of sport with the inauguration of a 13-member governing body of the Ghana Anti-Doping Agency that is gathered by the Minister for Sports and Recreation, Kofi Adams. The landmark event, which took place on Tuesday, underscores the nation's unwavering commitment to clean, fair and transparent sport at all levels. The newly constituted board brings together a wealth of experience and credibility, featuring distinguished personalities such as former Black Stars captain Stephen Appiah and renowned sports administrator Professor Francis Dodo, former president of the Ghana Olympic Committee, who also serves as a chairman of GADA. Now, according to the sports minister, the anti-doping board is expected to strengthen Ghana's anti-doping framework and align with its global best practices.
Today marks a defining moment in Ghana's sporting history. We are completing a national journey from intention to institution, from advocacy to law, and from law to action. With the passage of the Anti-Doping Act, the establishment of the National Anti-Doping Agency, and now the swearing in of its first board, Ghana has taken a firm and irreversible step forward. For decades, our athletes have carried our flag with dignity. Yet, as sport, which has globalized, its challenges have become more complex. Doping remains one of the greatest threats to credibility, to health, and to values that make competition meaningful. That is why, for me, today matters.
That is the Minister for Youth and Sports, the Minister for Sports and Recreation, Honorable Kofi Adams there. And that brings us to the end of the sports update here on 3FM Sunrise. My name is Mutala Yakubu. There's more on all our socials at 3SportsGH. And you can also log on to www.3news.com/sports.
The Electoral Commission has reiterated its commitment to organizing free and fair elections this December.
How's your week treating you? I'm here to serve you great music tidbits for your at-work listening pleasure.
Rastafari, Rastafari, Rastafari. Our Father, who art in Zion, Kanamawe, Kanamawe, Kanamawe. Oh, turn it up!
Come into the mountains, sight and I grandfather.
It's time to drive you home in style with great music, the 411 and all your favorite songs, what's happening around town, and so much more.
And in the headlines today, the two leading political parties have been addressing the public on allegations of corruption. The Black Stars coach has unveiled his squad for the upcoming games, and there are some interesting names.
Pull up! The weekend is here and it's time to turn up. Get your dancing shoes on, Lego.
We really do have it all. It's a premium mix of information and entertainment every single day on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio.
In the silence, something was growing. The journey continues. The calm before the storm. You can't mute a force that was born to speak. You can't bury rhythm. It rewrites itself. Louder. Every signal lost finds its way back to the source. This is not a comeback, it's a recalibration. This is the takeover. This is Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. Driving you home with good vibes, good conversations, and the freshest hits. Hop in, take a ride. Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. 3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
The Electoral Commission has reiterated its commitment to organizing free and fair elections this December.
How's your week treating you? I'm here to serve you great music tidbits for your at-work listening pleasure.
Rastafari, Rastafari, Rastafari. Our Father, who art in Zion, Kanamawe, Kanamawe, Kanamawe. Oh, turn it up!
Come into the mountains, sight and I grandfather.
It's time to drive you home in style with great music, the 411 and all your favorite songs, what's happening around town, and so much more.
And in the headlines today, the two leading political parties have been addressing the public on allegations of corruption. The Black Stars coach has unveiled his squad for the upcoming games, and there are some interesting names.
Pull up! The weekend is here and it's time to turn up. Get your dancing shoes on, Lego.
We really do have it all. It's a premium mix of information and entertainment every single day on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio.
In the silence, something was growing. The journey continues. They calm before the storm. You can't mute a force that was born to speak. You can't bury rhythm. It rewrites itself. Louder. Every signal lost finds its way back to the source. This is not a comeback, it's a recalibration. This is the takeover. This is Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. Driving you home with good vibes, good conversations, and the freshest hits. Hop in, take a ride. Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. 3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
The Electoral Commission has reiterated its commitment to organizing free and fair elections this December.
How's your week treating you? I'm here to serve you great music tidbits for your at-work listening pleasure.
Rastafari, Rastafari, Rastafari. Our Father, who art in Zion, Kanamawe, Kanamawe, Kanamawe. Oh, turn it up!
Come into the mountains, sight and I grandfather.
It's time to drive you home in style with great music, the 411 and all your favorite songs, what's happening around town, and so much more.
And in the headlines today, the two leading political parties have been addressing the public on allegations of corruption. The Black Stars coach has unveiled his squad for the upcoming games, and there are some interesting names.
Pull up! The weekend is here and it's time to turn up. Get your dancing shoes on, Lego.
We really do have it all. It's a premium mix of information and entertainment every single day on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio.
In the silence, something was growing. The journey continues. They calm before the storm. You can't mute a force that was born to speak. You can't bury rhythm. It rewrites itself. Louder. Every signal lost finds its way back to the source. This is not a comeback, it's a recalibration. This is the takeover. This is Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. Driving you home with good vibes, good conversations, and the freshest hits. Hop in, take a ride. Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. 3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
The Electoral Commission has reiterated its commitment to organizing free and fair elections this December.
How's your week treating you?
And I'd like to remind you of your 2026 year to travel, explore, and experience more. Global Wings Travel and Tours, in partnership with Media General, is inviting you to experience the best of Malaysia and Singapore this April. Enjoy 9 unforgettable days with return flights, luxury hotels in Kuala Lumpur and in Singapore. Enjoy daily meals, visa facilitation, city tours, Genting Highlands with cable ride, intercountry transfers, and so much more. It is all happening with Global Wings Travel and Tours in partnership with Media General this April, Malaysia and Singapore. So why do you have to wait? Just make your April 2026 Malaysia and Singapore trip a reality. Call or WhatsApp 0550-188-181, 0550-188-181, or 0553-688-398, 0553-688-398. Call or WhatsApp these numbers today and make your Malaysia and Singapore trip this April a reality. On Sunday, 25th January 2026, as Mentor crowns its next star. 6 finalists, 1 winner, and 1 historic night. Tiki and the Quams, Achedie, Kwekushai, Ivy Hollis, and DNA. All of them go head-to-head in a battle of vocal dexterity. Electrifying performances and dazzling dance steps in the Mentor Grand Finale. Who walks away with the ultimate prize? Will it be Tiki? Will it be Andy Quams? Will it be Achedie or Kwekushai, Ivy Hollis or DNA? Find out live at the National Theatre Sunday, 25th January 2026 at 8 p.m. sharp. Tickets are going at only 50 Ghana cedis. The stage is set. The votes and performances will decide everything. To push your favorite contestant to the grand prize, dial star 713 star 13 hash, star 713 star 13 hash, or download the MG Reality app. Vote now and keep their dream alive. Be there live at the National Theatre and cheer your contestant to victory. It will be an exciting experience that you don't want to miss. See you there. Talented Kids Season 17 auditions are officially open. Kumasi will meet at Makeling Hotel on the 18th of January 2026 from 8 a.m. sharp. And for Accra families, auditions come your way at the TV3 premises on the 20th of January 2026, also from 8 a.m. Talented Kids Season 17, where talent finds a stage. One stage, big dreams, and the search has begun. Morning, Ghana's power sector is once again at the center of a national debate. Government says it is not selling ECG and Netco, but only seeking private sector participation to improve efficiency and then reduce losses. But organized labor strongly disagrees, and they are warning that any form of privatization could threaten jobs, could raise tariffs, and then put a strategic national asset in private hands. So what exactly is government planning? Why now? And what does it mean for consumers? This morning we take a closer look at the proposed changes to the ownership, if you like, of ECG and Netco. The Energy Ministry and government officials, they have repeatedly clarified that ECG and Netco are not being sold. They say the idea is to bring in private sector support in specific areas like billing and collection, but not full privatization of the complete companies themselves, That's not what they say they're doing. The Ministry of Energy has rolled out a guiding framework for private sector participation in power distribution. It is aimed at improving efficiency, aimed at reducing losses, and then attract investment without transferring ownership. However, there have been diverse opinions and reactions. Labour and union opposition, it's been strong. The Trades Union Congress and the Public Utilities Workers Union, they are firmly against the privatization proposals, and they argue strong revenue performance by ECG. They say that strong revenue performance by ECG shows the company can be turned around without handing it over to private interests. They also warn of potential job losses, higher tariffs, and weakened public control. For the unions, they have staged protests and symbolic actions like hoisting red flags nationwide to signal resistance. This is the evidence that they are citing, that labor leaders, they are pointing to ECG's improved revenue, raising from 900 million cedis to over 1.7 billion cedis monthly. After internal reform efforts has proved that public management can work effectively. The government argument is that private sector involvement is aimed at fixing operational inefficiencies and is not selling the state assets, framing it as a partnership for performance and not privatization. So this debate casts to the heart of how Ghana chooses to reform critical services, whether to rely on state-led turnaround programs or to embrace market-led participation to fix chronic distribution problems, all while ensuring affordable and then reliable power for citizens and businesses. There are a few people who are in support of this call for privatization of ECG.
I'm no go lie, nothing she do me, she make her cry, I go die, it's a me tamoshito,
Sunrise. But he has thrown his weight behind the call for the privatization. He says we should take emotions out and reform ECG, arguing that it is time Ghana embrace structural reforms to improve efficiency in the power sector. He cited examples from other African countries where privatization has led to greater results and better service delivery in the energy sector. He also referenced Morocco as another country that has seen progress after introducing privatization into its energy space. In other countries, they've liberalized the whole sector to engage other competitors, so that at the end of the day, the customer or the consumer benefits from this particular competition and efficiency from all sectors. Benjamin, however, acknowledged the resistance to privatization in Ghana, often driven by fears of job losses and wage cuts among ECG staff. He's joining us on the lines at the moment so that he helps us understand or share with us again his thoughts on why ECG or the support to why ECG should be privatized. Contrary to the claims or contrary to the demands of the TUC. Benjamin Insia, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning to you and a happy new year.
Good morning. Many happy returns.
Yesterday, the Trades Union Congress and the Public Utilities Workers Union, they were supported by some staff of the VRA and NEDCO in solidarity, and they restated their demand that government holds all conversations that is aimed at privatizing ECG. They say that whether it is privatization or public sector participation, private sector participation, regardless whatever it is just English. Government wants to take ECG out from Ghanaian ownership or public ownership. You support the call for privatization. Why should we look at privatizing ECG and NEDCO?
So I support the call for private sector participation to instill some financial discipline, managerial discipline, and then reduce the wastage in the system, so that as a country we could mobilize enough to defray our power sector liabilities. And I think that I do understand the perspectives of welfare unions or labor unions, because their interest is about the welfare of their membership and ensuring that the interest of their membership is always promoted. However, such selfish interest should not override the general interest of Ghana, and also should not override the general interest of seeing that the energy sector or the energy landscape in Ghana is very sustainable and debt-free.
Sorry to cut you there, but you think that the demand of the TUC and PU and other workers to stop the calls for the privatization is selfish?
Oh yes, I think that they are being selfish, promoting their selfish interest and not the well-being of all Ghanaians in terms of ensuring a reliable and sustainable power sector. I say so because we all know the challenges of the sector. Most of these gentlemen have worked at these organizations for the past 20 years, yet these organizations continue to experience huge liabilities, continue to experience frivolous procurements, continue to experience higher system losses, mismanagement, and normally the argument is that it is not their fault, but rather the fault of politicians appointed by government. But I always say that when an organizational framework or an organization has a good corporate governance culture or an organizational culture, sometimes if you even bring the worst leader through the discipline of that particular organization, there will be a bottom-up approach that changes the mindset of the leader or the leadership into making sure that they also become disciplined. Because when you come to an organization and everyone in that organization has a value or has a certain discipline in terms of operations, in terms of management, whoever comes there as a leader will now emulate from them, because there will be some form of a bottom-up socialization. So we are in this challenge because of the kind of middle-level employees we do have at these state-owned entities. We are in this level because the kind of operational level employees we do have at these utility companies. And if government decides that for over the years you've not been able to give us the needed turnover, over the years you've not been able to solve the major challenges, and for that matter, our development partners have recommended that engaging private sector participation will resolve these challenges, teeming challenges at these utility companies for once. I think that we need to try that model. Trying that.
But please conclude. Sorry.
I think that we need to try that model, and then in future the model doesn't benefit us, we may go back to earlier models. But for now, this model we are embarking on, or this model we are practicing, has not been the best for us in terms of solving the energy sector challenges.
The argument they are making also is that a tripartite committee was set up, and following engagement involving the Public Utility Workers Union, representing staff of ECG, ECG management themselves, and the Minister of Energy and Green Transition, a 6-month turnaround program was agreed upon and implemented from July to December last year. Now, the result of the turnaround program, they say that has been phenomenal, with verified performance data from this turnaround indicating that the average monthly revenue collection increased from approximately 900 million cedis to a record 1.75 billion cedis, and that represents more than 90% increase in revenue collection. And they say that it has ensured, power generators, they are now being paid regularly, amongst others. So these gains have been recorded. Why then should we still look at private sector participation when it is possible to do this themselves with the needed motivation?
I think that the TUC and the POO should stop misleading Ghanaians. And I think they took this inspiration from some political comments made by the current appointees of this government. I say so because there has not been any revenue improvement in revenue mobilization. As far as those of us in the space have been monitoring, no improvement. What happened is that the previous government was underreporting to the cash waterfall mechanism. Aside underreporting, the previous government was underpaying to the cash waterfall mechanism. And those are two things. So the previous government was realizing 1.4, almost 1.5 billion on monthly basis. But because of underreporting, they were reporting about 1.2 to the cash waterfall mechanism. After underreporting to the cash waterfall mechanism, they underpay the cash waterfall mechanism by about 300 million. So they normally get 1.5, yet pay about 900 to 1 billion to the cash waterfall mechanism. That doesn't mean that revenue was not being mobilized. It was mobilized, but most of the revenue was used for internal mismanagement and frivolous procurement. Now, what happened in 2025 is purely because of increment in tariffs. It's not because ECG is doing wonders. It's not because NETCO is doing wonders. It's just purely increment of tariffs. So if in 2024, these companies were mobilizing 1.5 billion, and cumulatively in 2025, you've increased tariff, end user tariff by about 18%. Now, this 18% will surge the revenue you are mobilizing. The expected revenue to be collected from the sector is 3.5 billion Ghana cedis, at least 3.5 billion Ghana cedis.
So the 1.75 billion is still inadequate even after the tariff increment and the resolving of the underreporting situation.
It is only about half of the expected revenue that must be mobilized or mopped up from the end user. So we are expecting the Ghanaians to mobilize about 3.5 billion. You are doing 1.7 billion, doing so because of increment in tariff. And you come to tell us that there's turnover. There is no turnover anywhere. And I think that it is because they've been misled by politicians. ECG uncollected revenue is still about 50% of expected revenue. These are the facts. The system losses are still higher. These are the facts. They are doing 27%. PURC are giving them a benchmark of 21%. Aside that, I think that the reason why private sector participation is justified is because ECG is in liabilities of about 60 billion Ghana cedis. If a company is in these huge liabilities, right, without adequate buffers from central government to offset or defray these liabilities, you only need a private sector to be able to inject some liquidity as well as modernize the system for you to reduce your system losses. Where is ECG going to get the money from? So I think they've done well, but in seeking their interest, they must look at the well-being and the general interest of Ghanaians. And the general interest is that the ECG or other utilities have been under their care for some time now, yet we've not realized the needed profit or dividend we want to realize as a country. And for that matter, getting the private sector participation will be the surest bet. It is a new model. Let's also try it and see. Now, and there's another argument they make that today we are overpaying or we are almost clearing every cash waterfall mechanism. The reason we are able to clear cash waterfall mechanism is not because of revenue performance. the Category A and Category B in cash water fall mechanism are paid in dollars. The appreciation of the cedi makes it far cheaper to pay these or clear these arrears in cedis. And I don't think it is ECG nor NETCO nor any of the utility companies that ensured that the cedi appreciated by 40%. No. It is not by their doing. So we are paying. The reason why previous years we couldn't pay was because of the depreciation of the currency. Now the currency has been appreciated by 40%. It means that it is cheaper to pay in cedis to a dollar-rated debt than paying in dollars to a cedi-rated debt. So that is what is happening. So today, if you mobilize 1.7 billion and the dollar was around 15 Ghana cedis, it means that you could not settle all your beneficiaries of the Category A or nor the Category B. But today, the cedi is around 10 Ghana cedis, 60 pesos. So if you mobilize 1.7 billion, you'll be able to settle them about $500 and something million and also settle Category B.
From the PSP Technical Committee's own detailed analysis of the trade-offs and the key success factors for private sector participating, changing ownership according to the TUC and POO or restructuring operational control by contract does not inherently lead to efficiency gains. So the analysis highlights that for private sector participation to succeed, the government must provide certain conditions or make some guarantees and structural adjustments or structural support so that it will be able to be successful. Because even if you privatize it or you introduce private sector participation without some basic changes, it will still not work. They are raising the central question that if government is willing to make these interventions available for the private firm, why not do it now?
Okay, so I don't want to preempt government policy framework. We are yet to see the policy framework from government with respect to this whole private sector participation. The transaction advisor has not even been selected. And if he even selected, the transaction advisor has not brought out any guidelines or procedures as to how this whole sector participation will go. So I will not be ready to comment and preempt on that decision. But to respond to them, I think that government of Ghana over the years has been supporting ECG. If you take most of the Auditor General report, there are certain times government of Ghana supports ECG by about 6 billion, 7 billion Ghana cedis, right? Yet these supports have not resolved our challenges, right? So if government of Ghana decides that doing the cost-benefit analysis, a private sector is supported with only about 200 million Ghana cedis, yet this private sector will be able to turn around these debt-driven companies into profitable companies within the medium term. I think that it is a commendable decision that government will take. But as I indicated earlier, POO, TUC, and those calling for suspension of this particular arrangement must wait and also contribute to certain documents or policy guidelines that will come out of this whole private sector participation. And until we get the guidelines, knowing the economic cost that will come to us and as to whether that economic cost will override the benefit in future, we all will now have a new way of thinking about this whole process. So they should just keep their cool and then expect that contribute or expect that the document comes out. I understand them. I think that normally in terms of some of these engagements, they are likely going to be retrenchment. They are likely going to be sacking because I have maintained that if you look at most of the discos in the world and even in Africa, highest. As at 2022, when the PRC themselves conducted a study and published it under Dr. Ishmael Aka, Ghana was having almost about 500 to an employee, maybe 500 customers to an employee. However, So which means that labor productivity is very low in Ghana. In other jurisdictions, even in Africa, they had one employee of a distribution company to 1,000 customers. In Latin America, Chile, and other areas that the PRC use their data. In Turkey, for example, they had one employee serving 3,000 customers. In Ghana, NETCO and ECG had one employee serving between 500 to 600 customers. Yet the inefficiencies are unabated. Yes, they are not even effective. So I think that we need to have some redundancy strategies to even cut down the employment in this sector. We are paying people for no job done or no work done.
I see. We'll come back to this point you've raised, but will privatizing ECG or introducing private sector participation, something they say means the same thing though, will it automatically solve the problems resulting in the need for the privatization?
It depends on the policy framework, and also depends on the implementation of this whole private sector participation in the sector. It is not a model in terms of policy, and also in terms of theory. Involving private sector will inure to the benefits that the country will expect to get, mobilizing the needed revenue to offset most of these debts and also pay current obligations. But it depends on how we implement some of these policies. And as I have indicated earlier, we're waiting for the policy document and the guidelines into how we'll be able to get these participants. But in theory, it is clear that because the private sector is profit-driven, because the private sector is dividend-driven, the private sector always ensures that they put the innovations, they adapt to the new technologies to be able to mobilize the needed revenue from the sector. As I indicated earlier, that Ghana is doing only 50% of expected revenue from the sector. It means that we have the potential to do 3.5 billion. So private sector coming in and knowing well that their revenue or their revenue will be benchmarked towards the ability to mobilize, because it's going to be a commission revenue or a service-based revenue. And if it's a service-based revenue, it depends on how much you are able to mobilize, and that mobilization gives you your yearly revenue. So the private sector will inject the needed technology. The private sector will inject the needed tracking system. The private sector will be very creative and innovative to ensuring that any Ghanaian, any firm that uses electricity in Ghana pays for it.
What will happen to the political influence? Is it going to stop?
Yes, that's even the good point, because the private sector, even though we all know the political economy run in this country, where politicians do have their hands in most institutions, including the private sector, but that interference will be far lesser compared to the current interference of a politician appointing almost everybody at ECG, or a politician appointing almost everybody at NETCO. Because the private sector, because of the contract you signed, breaching the contract causes a problem. So at least that interference will be less, maybe 10% interference somewhat because of back-end conversations or communications, but mostly on the job, because the private sector is profit-driven, dividend-driven, will tell the government that this is the contract you signed with me and I must achieve, so that you can also achieve, right? In that case, this is what I'm bringing in to modernize the system. We have numerous allegations, and sometimes true though, that ECG staff connive with some end users to evade the payment of bills. They report them to you, you hear them, right? But I don't think that the private sector will agree for its workers to connive with end users to evade bills. No, it will not happen. There are areas in Accra. Someone called me last 2 days and told me that there are areas in Accra around Amasa Mine where a whole community doesn't pay electricity. Are they telling us that ECG is not aware of that? They are aware. But why are they not doing that? Because someone within the operational level benefits from this inability of end users paying electricity.
Benjamin, please hold on for me. Indulge me and stay on the lines. Timothy Nyame is the General Secretary of the Public Utilities Workers Union. He's also joining us to let us understand the differences in the thinking. Timothy, thank you so much for joining us and good morning to you. Now, we're speaking with Benjamin Ntia. He's an energy analyst, and the argument is making, like a few other people who are in support of the cause for the privatization, is that there hasn't been any real improvement in revenue mobilization. The situation was that years ago, or in the previous government, what was happening was underreporting to the cash waterfall mechanism. And the increment from the 900 million to the 1.75 billion is purely increment in tariffs. And in fact, if we're dealing with these two problems, I'm talking about with the tariffs increment and solving the underreporting problem, we should be looking at some 3.5 billion cedis. That should be the expectation. But we're only getting 1.75. So the reasons or the thinking to go against the privatization is fundamentally flawed. What's your response to that?
Thank you very much, and good morning to your listeners, and good morning to Benjamin. Yes, I heard him briefly when he was speaking, and I just want to say that the reason that he was enumerating of which the provision should come is unfortunate. I don't want to debate him on it, but knowing an organization that has a staff of about 8,000 and looking at the issues, all that we need to do is that issues that are brought to the attention of management are actually attended to. And for him to say that the revenue that has moved from 900 to 1.75 is as a result of tariff, it is also not wholly true. If you can just recall, Honorable Minister of Finance, when he was granting interview to the press, he said that it is not as a result of the tariff adjustment. He's made it categorically clear. So I rather expected
not
my brother who is
about the tariff adjustment, but there's also the bit about the resolving the problem of underreporting to the cash waterfall mechanism. That also contributed.
So I'll come to that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's one. So when Engineer Kwesi came to office, those issues that he's talking about, I cannot be attributed to the accounting the cash waterfall mechanism. If you can remember, all the accounts that are purported to have been closed were closed. And then he started in February. And this massive turnaround strategy started in June. All the mechanism for the payment of money to the were streamlined in March, and everything was on board. The total actual collection to the cash waterfall mechanism was all streamlined. So it was not as a result of the non-payment of money to the cash waterfall. And it can also refer to the auditors. The auditors' reports can also attest to this. So I'm still pleading with my brother. If you are calling out an expert, as an expert, I'm appealing to him to let us be candid enough to analyze the situation without any passion or any sensitivity. Let us bring the forward, because we also have these records before we come on air to talk to you, the press, because you are the people who send this information to our listeners. So we have to put everything in his right. If he's pushing for the privatization, shouldn't nullify the gains that have been made as a result of the appointment of the managing director, and then the turnaround that has come. It is a collective effort, and I'm sure the minister himself can attest to it, the performance that has come. And it's not as a result of the cash waterfall payment that has no, it is not.
Yes,
it's a result of people who hitherto were not paying their bills, and then customers who hitherto were not mapped for payment, which the collective effort of the management and the workers of ECG, and then collaboration with the Honorable Minister of the sector. So it is a collective effort.
Great.
And as I speak, we continue to give him progressive report. But for my brother to just come and then nullify and say, all that he's saying are not something that we are unaware of. But we are actually quick to actually attend to the sport. As I speak now, I have about 4 letters of interdiction of staff. And of course, it's something as a public institution like that, you expect this. The order we know is that sanctions apply to those who falter, and commendation are given to those who are actually performing.
So what he's saying essentially, and what has been agreed across board, is that there've been lots of improvement. Congratulations to you. You've done well. But the truth is still remaining. The fact remains that 50% of the revenues your ECG is supposed to get is still unable to get. So there's still a lot more to do.
Quickly, so it is not to that level. You know, there are capacity charges. Look, there's a condition in the IPP sales, take or pay. When they give you 10,000 kilowatts, and whether you use the 10,000 kilowatts, you are supposed to pay. We are not getting there, and I'm a little careful in speaking because we are scheduled to hold a meeting with Honorable Minister. I don't want to go into details of it, but I just want to say that all that my brother is elaborating, enumerating, I don't know where each angle is coming from. Let us put it in a very nice way. I wish we can be together and then we iron out these things because they are not the true fact. The target, I know, is a little above 2 billion. But you can see progressively the performance of ECG. We are moving. And that's why we are trying to meet management to see how best we can entrench the gains we are making and see how best we can cross the teeth and dot the I's. So we are not saying that by this achievement, ECG is out of the pool. No. But what she's saying, what we are saying that given the right direction that it is now,
you can do it.
We attend to those issues that he's talking about. We can be able to read it. So that's all I'm just appealing to my brother to let us look at it.
I want to
it doesn't
ask
necessarily
you,
need to be in
Timothy,
the hand of the private sector that before we can do this.
I want to ask you, Timothy, that is it really the thinking of or the belief of TUC and POO that the privatization will not inure to the benefit of the entire state, or it is because of the number of people who may be let go, that is why the unions are against the issue of privatization?
My brother, aside retrenchment and dismissal, aside this, we have seen instances, we have seen history where privatization has not benefited the intended purpose. It does not yield the intended purpose across Ghana and over. So what we are speaking about is not something that we're just speaking out of passion. For now, I even know government, if you want to do in private sector. So look, they can just hold the staff constant, that nobody will lose his job. We are not looking at that alone. We are looking at the total benefit. And we are saying that, look, energy company like ECG should be a strategic national asset. That should not be handed over to a private sector. We know what cartels can do. We know how major companies can influence, how they can influence state direction. We have seen it. That's why we are just trying to caution government. That the government can direct the affairs of these state entities. That is the business given to the private sector, who can hold it to ransom. As we speak, 70% of IPP are 70% of power producers are private. We are going ahead to want to say that, look, we are bringing the private sector also in the distribution network. Only God knows what will happen. So we are not speaking only for the workers.
Okay.
For we have seen the problem this outbreak. We have other African countries where these organizations have not helped the nation. It has also impoverished them. So we are saying that if these signs are anything to go by, why can't we move with them and put in proper controls and move the company ahead? That's what we are just trying to look at.
Timothy, hold on for me. Let me bring in Benjamin Insia. Mr. Insia, you've listened to the responses from Mr. Nyame, the General Secretary of the Public Utilities Workers Union. Essentially, they're saying that they are doing well. They have done well. So allow them. In fact, in their demands, they are asking that the 6-month management union turnaround program must be extended and reviewed to determine additional measures needed to scale and sustain the success so far. And then while the turnaround program is underway, they are urging government to halt all actions towards the privatization of ECG and NEDCO. Should we not, based on the improvements they have made in the past 6 months, should we not say, okay, they can do it, so let's see. Isn't it a benefit of doubt we can give to them?
Also, Timothy, good morning. I think he agrees with me that they are under collecting revenue. But he wanted to justify that with some capacity charges or something. I think that when we talk of under collections, they are just revenues expected from them, because the reason why government of Ghana pays shortfall is because of some of these legacy challenges or policy challenges that we are in. And that is why every year we allocate almost 15 to 30 billion Ghana cedis in the budget, depending on the period, to offset some of these challenges. Now, two, it is not Benjamin Insia who is saying that they didn't perform or they didn't do any wonder in 2025. There were two reports either commissioned by the state or maybe state institutions picking up to do some audit. So the Auditor General did an audit of the sector, including ECG as a company. And I think the last time I checked, if my figures serve me right, the Auditor General indicated that ECG was underreporting by about 5 billion, and then 5 billion Ghana cedis. So a year. So what it means is that if you divide 5 billion by 12 months,
so it was 2025. No audit report has come out from 2025.
I'm building my point. So 2024. So 2024, that's about 5 billion. And in December 2024, my brother Timothy agrees with me that the cash waterfall mechanism or the payment made by ECG to the cash waterfall mechanism was around 1 billion Ghana cedis. So assuming the 5 billion of 2024, which were underreported, are divided by 12 months, and each of these months is put on the cash waterfall mechanism, it means that the cash waterfall mechanism was doing in excess of 1.3 billion, because 5 billion divided by 12 will give you about some huge figures, almost 400 million or so. So 400 million plus 900 million or 1 billion in December 2024 means that they were doing around 1 billion. Now, the other report that came from the whole sector also, which is the PricewaterhouseCoopers he mentioned, also stated similar, almost about 2 billion. But they went further to say that aside under reporting or under declaring to the cash waterfall mechanism, there was also underpayment. So they had those two scenarios. And if you put their figures together, it's also around 3 billion or so. So what it means is that if you divide by the 12 months and add it on, it means that the cash waterfall, the actual amount that was expected in the cash waterfall mechanism in December 2024 was around 1.4 billion. So today, if you are doing additional 300 million, that is why I said it is purely because of the increment. And I think here my brother Timothy agrees with me. As I indicated earlier,
why do I agree with you? Why?
Yes.
Why do you think I should agree with you? A CEO who has performed, he has converted, he has become the best CEO of the country in 2024, 2025. It doesn't mean that he didn't perform, he only plugged the loop.
Timo,
the money was following.
So we have
an insult to the workers of this.
Gentlemen, one at a time. Okay. Benjamin, make your point.
We have been in this sector. We know how CEOs are awarded.
Mr. Yami, give Benjamin time. Let him finish.
Okay. We are in this sector. We know how CEOs are awarded. We know. So collecting an award doesn't mean that you've changed something, because as we speak, we don't even know the strategic decision or the strategic thinking of your CEO. He's not published any strategic memo in the next 1 to 4 years, what he's expected to do, what changes he's bringing there. He's not even published that. We are not aware of that.
Benjamin, let's stay on track. Let's stay on track. Mr. Yami, please let us slide. Let us slide. Let's the conversation about the CEO slide.
All right.
Thank you.
So we know. So back to the conversation. I think there has not been any improvement. Then the issue about uncollected revenue, where he wants to assess capacity charge or whatever he's talking about, is also true that their system losses are high. It is true that their system losses are high. So what is the figure in 2025, my senior? Because we are using the figure published by Energy Commission in 2024, and it's still around 27%.
No, it's not.
Or anyway, but you see, another challenge is that normally they come out to tell us that let's increase tariffs for them. When you increase tariffs, system losses will reduce. But go and check reports by PRS and Energy Commission. In 2018, for example, when we had the multi-year tariff review, which increased in the first first month of 2019, in that year, when they had the multi-year review and increased tariff by about 23%, that year, 2019, their system losses jumped to 30%. I'm not the one saying it. These are reported by Energy Commission, right? So it means that we are not turning anything over.
So the
and I do sympathize. No, I do sympathize because the 8,000 employees, I think that government will find a way to save those jobs. I know, because as a labor union, as a welfare union, the interest is that let's protect our workers. Let them still be in work. Let them continue to get their compensations. I do agree with you. But government will find a way to save these jobs. And that is why government is saying that already ECG is in some level of private sector participation. And my brother Timothy, you sign a contract with a vendor which takes commission. There's this company, Haftel, right? It's also about revenue mobilization. So government is now saying that let's streamline it in a way that these companies don't only collect commission by introducing only some form of technology to mobilize revenue, but also injecting some liquidity in modernizing the system so that every Ghanaian that uses energy in Ghana pays for it.
Right. Benjamin, let's get a response from Timothy. Timothy, you've heard the thinking of Mr. Nsia and people who are in support of the, of the privatization.
Yes, thank you very much. From Nsia, he has been an advocate of private sector participation or privatization of state entities. This has been there. You see, all that I'm trying to enumerate. For you to just say that nothing has changed, and I can even hear some people around who say nothing has changed. Look, you cannot imagine how things power system losses have been reduced from 27 to 24, and you say nothing has changed. You know that 1 percentage point reduction, how much it is, and you are saying that revenue that has moved as a result of streamlining of revenue into the catch water for mechanism. That one is an insult to the workers of ECG who are working around the clock to make sure that, look, if we're not working, we would have made this money that we are making up, we're talking about. And I also always want to put on record that any staff that you find culpable, please highlight the person for the attention of management, because it's the union leaders, the workers, they are supposed to be law abiding. So I want to say that 8,000 staff, I cannot hold brief for all of them. I want to say that anybody who crosses the line, because the CEO that was appointed by the president was giving came and gave clear deliverable to the workers of ECG, which they were doing. So period by period they were benchmarked. So for you to just say that, because of this you are going to, in spite of all this, that does not make the private sector the best manager of ECG. The best managers of ECG are the engineers that they are trained. And all that government needs to do is to put in adequate controls to make sure and monitor their operations. So, for the mere fact that somebody has stolen a meter and is not billing the customer, I don't give the license to the private sector to come and say that he's investing he's coming to privatize the ECG because there's some 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 people are stealing power somewhere. Identification of the problem is the 50% solution of it. And we here have also been advocates of discipline staff, dedicated staff. So, but I take very strong exception that, look, there's this 6-month turnaround program that has come. They bring you record and you sit down and analyze. You don't even get down to the field to see what happens. But I thank God that the honorable minister of the sector, if you have to come to the situation room and see how the people are working, and you see how the performance is going day by day. Now, the analysts sit down in the office with a group of people and pull the data and then use it because they have appetite for privatization. It is not the way to go. It is not the way to go. And we are saying safety, job security of the members is not the only thing we are looking at. We are looking at the imminent capture of private sector of the state assets and holding them to ransom in future. Today, the people can be your friend. You don't know tomorrow. For me, we are saying it, and we also want to say that we also have research department, we have people who have what it takes to give us research numbers. So we are not speaking out of this thing. We are not speaking what we do not know. What we know, and let us look at fair privatization of this energy sector look at where they have invested. Private sector across Africa. Just look at their performance. You look at what is happening there. So we have gone around, see how this private sector participation in other countries have brought woes to the nation. So we have to be very careful. So let us put our heads together. There's nobody should continue to stand on the line and say that because some people are stealing power, the people are not willing. Let us bring them to book. Let's bring them to order, and let us find adequate controls that can be able to deter them from doing whatever they are doing.
Timothy, thank you so much. I appreciate your time with us on the program. Timothy Nyame is the General Secretary of the Public Utilities Workers Union speaking with us. Benjamin Ntia is still with me. Benjamin, if you can hear me, let me take your final word on this, and then I would ask you whether we have learnt lessons from failed privatization attempt. Case in point is Ghana Telecom to Vodafone Ghana.
So, to your last question, I think that countries are unique. Countries operate within legal frameworks, and countries operate within their own political economy. I think I was expecting him to mention some of those institutions across Africa, because I know of ESCOM in South Africa, I know of Umeme in Uganda, and even Ivory Coast has some level of private sector participation, and some of these countries are doing well in terms of revenue retention. So I was expecting him to mention the countries in Africa who are not quite doing well. Even the general literature says about 30% are not doing well, but sometimes they are not specific on these countries, and sometimes they even rely on data with respect to Ghana's inability to secure this participation in 2018 or so, when we wanted to do the PDS. They also use examples like cases in Nigeria. But as I indicated, these are different jurisdictions, different political economy, different legal frameworks, and different understanding of some of these issues. So Ghana will be a different case because a transaction advisor will be selected. I think that it's likely going to be very participatory, and that in participation in various arguments or positions will be brought bare to enhance the policy document or framework or guidelines in terms of engaging these participants. Now, my final comment is that I'll try and see my brother, Senior Timothy, to see whether we can convince ourselves. But the issue is that he mentioned that 2025 they decreased system losses from 27% or 26.9% to 24%. Kudos to them if that is the case, because I'm yet to see that particular data. But 24% is nothing new. The ECG used to do 24% until it accelerated to 30% and now 27%. So it is not new. The benchmark established by PURC is 21%. In Africa, for example, the Ministry of Energy submitted what we call the Energy Compact, which is renewed now to 2030 to the Mission 300. And among the countries, especially the English countries that submitted to the mission, Ghana has the highest system loss of 27% as of 2024. Even if we reduce it to 24% in 2025, we still have the highest among those countries. If you go Zambia, Senegal, Tanzania, Kenya, mostly they are doing around 17% and 11%, Zimbabwe 11% or so. So these countries are doing well, and they are doing so because there's some level of private sector participation in their regulatory framework or in their utility framework. Getting it here means that the private sector also helps us collect any revenue we want. Now, in terms of controls, you see, the best control for us, for these utilities, is the PURC. They are the regulator. But because of political interference and government interference, in 2024, the PURC sanctioned ECG and some top-level management. We couldn't supervise or implement that sanction because of government interference. So whenever there's a government interference, any control you put in place through a regulation, through a convention, through a principle, through a strategy, you will not be able to implement it because the government appoints the MD of ECG. And that's same to the MD of PURC. And the ECG, because they are appointed differently, sometimes not even under the control of the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition or under that particular minister, they become the boss of themselves because they don't report to anybody other than the president.
Right.
And that's why I think that private sector participation will help us. But maybe if I meet Senior Timo, he may have some data or new evidence to maybe convince me to support him. But as of now, I think that private sector participation will help us.
Although the PURC will have to regulate it, but regardless, even if it's a private sector participation, it is still possible that they won't be able to do it and they will not be doing what is expected of them. So we understand the
private sector, the PURC will do it, and they will do it right. Especially, I've been calling for some amendment of that particular act. I think 738, we need to amend it and look at some of these issues and address them.
Benjamin, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. All right.
That it has commenced processes for the appointment of a transaction advisor to oversee the privatization of the electricity company of Ghana. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us and a happy new year. It's the first time we're speaking in 2025.
For the opportunity.
What has been the latest in government's quest to get public sector participation for the ECG or privatization in general?
So let me say good morning to your cherished listeners as well. And so, as you already know, His Excellency's Cabinet approved PSP in April 2025. Since then, there's been stakeholder engagement between the government led by the Minister of Energy and Green Transition, Honorable Chinapo, and POO, as well as TUC workers of ECG, and then the utility workers in general. The government put together a technical committee to steer the process. The technical committee has provided the minister with some recommendations. Beyond that, they've also provided the minister with the guides for the transaction advisor is going to use. And so, based on that, there's what I'll describe as some recommendations that the minister will have to take in decisions together with the government of Ghana. In June 2025, in one of such engagements, the workers asked for a 6-month moratorium to try and improve the services of ECG. The 6 months is up. We are looking forward to further engagement. But the process is ongoing. The appointment of the transaction advisor is ongoing. And once that is done, the transaction advisor will guide government on how to proceed.
I see. But the position of the TUC and the Public Utilities Workers Union, it does not change. They're still kicking against it. And their reasons are that ECG, although still has a lot more to do, NEDCO still has a lot more to do. So far, it's doing well. So why don't you keep giving them the enabling environment so that they can keep improving on what they're doing, increasing revenue, for instance? And they are also saying, and they are afraid of job losses, redundancy, letting go of their staff that will happen if eventually a private sector intervention is introduced?
The goal of private sector is not to cause job losses, is to complement the work that ECG has been doing. We all recognize the difficulties that ECG and NECO face. We know the issues with billing, we know the issues with collections, we know the issues with service in general. And so the private sector is not supposed to dislodge ECG. And the government has given the workers the assurances that they need, that there won't be any job losses, and that process will be done to ensure that every worker is protected. Their interest is paramount to government, and that is very key. And so that assurance has been given to them already. On holding on with the process, even though they asked for more time, to perform. In my considered opinion, I don't believe that asking for more time to improve means that the entire process must come to a halt. That can be done hand to hand once you're going through the process. Because it takes some time to be able to even go through the process of getting your draft framework, going through the process of getting the transaction advisor. And so that is what has been ongoing. The most important point for us as a government is that there's always been engagement. At all times, the minister's door has always been open. The minister has been very open with them, and they will tell you themselves that the minister has showed leadership throughout this process. And so we'll continue to engage them. We've requested that we have a meeting with them. The minister will meet them, and whatever concerns they have, I'm sure that the discussions that have always been in good faith continue to ensure that whatever issues are outstanding are resolved. And like we've reached out to them to let them know we don't have to engage in the media. That has not been their style. We've always engaged in good faith. Anytime they've called on the ministry, the minister has responded. And so let's go back to the conference room that we meet every time, have discussions, and I'm sure that whatever is there, we'll have a amicable solution to it.
Although the assurances will be given, but the reality too, Richmond, is that after a while, when the privatization concerns are resolved and the new ECG is new management and all of that, after a while, 3 years, there'll be a lot of layoffs. We've seen that in the banking sector. We've seen that in some other sectors of the economy. There's no guarantee.
That's at this point is speculative. And for me, it's not even about just the public sector. Everyone does what we call staff rationalization from time to time. Everybody has his or her vision or mission as a business. As a business, you look at your business as a going concern, and then you take decisions. You look at your staff. If you need more staff, you hire. If you need less staff, you reduce staff. If you have to bring in technology, you do that. And so these are decisions that every business goes through. It's not just about the fact that because you're going to have private sector participation automatically means that there will be job losses. No. There are businesses that because you've had private sector participation, they've ended up hiring more. If you look at some of these, for example, if you take Ghana Telecom, when Ghana Telecom came in, at the end of the day, they've expanded, Vodafone expanded more than what Ghana Telecom was. And so they ended up having more staff than what they meant. And so it's not automatic that immediately you take over, that is going to happen. We saw at GCB. GCB used to be state-led. They went through the process of becoming a publicly listed company. The business has expanded. They have more shares, more branches. You see Goyle PLC, they expanded. They have over 400 filling stations. They even at the point he started a subsidiary for upstream. And so that is not always the case that once you bring in the private sector, you bring in interest, it means automatically there should be job losses. There are several instances to show that where the businesses have expanded as a result of investments or the introduction of the private sector. And so let's not look at it from just the negative angle. Let's look at it from the positive angle. The most important thing is that it's not a sale of ECG. If it is a sale of ECG, that is when you're going to have the private sector make the sole decision. This is not going to be a sale. This is bringing in private sector participation to assist ECG to deal with the challenges that for decades they haven't been able to deal with. And I'm not sure that the government will sit down for people to lose their jobs under the PSP.
And finally, from me, Roxing, what next should we expect in terms of the conversations on the privatization or the private sector participation? What more should we look out for in the coming months, maybe?
In the coming months, the government will be guided by the reports of the transactional advisor. And so what I will say is that let's wait for what the transactional advisor will be. Yesterday, there were allegations that they've seen a report that says that the country should be divided. It should be ECG should be merged with NETCO. The country should be divided into 4 areas, 4 zones. All those are not accurate. Let's wait for the transactional advisor's report. Once government gets the report, government will be guided on the way forward. Whether you need 5 concessionaires, you need 10, you need 7, the report will guide government. But like I said, the most important point for us as a government here is that ECG must be healthy. If you have a solid ECG, you have a very viable energy sector. And we've seen it with this year alone, with last year alone. Previous year, you had paying 6 million from cash water folklore. Collections go up, and last year, we're doing about 18 billion. So it should tell you that once ECG and NETCO is healthy, those 2 companies are healthy, we will be able to navigate most of the challenges that we've had in the energy sector, and that should be our concern as citizens of Ghana.
Richmond, I'd like to thank you so much for your time with us on the program this morning.
Thank you, too, for the opportunity.
Richmond Roxing is the spokesperson of the Ministry of Energy.
Awesome.
Some big challenges. But that one is non-negotiable. That one is undebatable. From unpaid bills to high debts. Whether it's through better public management or bringing in private partners, the real question, it is very simple. How do we keep the lights on? That we are doing well so far at that. How do we make electricity affordable? And then also, most importantly, how do we make sure the money is collected? Plenty people. You are listening to me, you know that you have done some connection somewhere. It's your life. And if we collect the money, how do we make sure that the money is used well? That is the debate. That is all that matters. There's also the bit about, layoffs. But the spokesperson is explaining to us that when new management comes, new business, they'll decide whether to increase staff or everybody has a point. Let me know what you think. Share with us your thoughts. But this is something that we'll continue to monitor very closely. TUC, PU, PU, their position is simple. Don't do it. Stop it. The Energy Ministry says that, yes, you're making some improvements, but it does not mean we should stop what we are doing. So the 2 of them are working together. But like I said, what matters is keeping the lights on, making electricity more affordable, and making sure the money is collected and used well. And then making sure that we don't lose staff. We don't lay off workers. This is still Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. My name is Noble Crosby Annan. Give us a minute, we're back with more conversations. 3FM.
The Electoral Commission has reiterated its commitment to organizing free and fair elections this December.
How's your week treating you? I'm here to serve you great music, tidbit for your at-work listening pleasure.
Rastafari, Rastafari, Rastafari. Our Father, who art in Zion, Kanamawe, Kanamawe, Kanamawe. Oh, turn it up!
Coming to the mountains, sight and I grandpa.
It's time to drive you home in style with great music, the 411 and all your favorite songs, what's happening around town, and so much more.
And in the headlines today, the two leading political parties have been addressing the public on allegations of corruption. The Black Stars coach has unveiled his squad for the upcoming games, and there are some interesting names.
Pull up! The weekend is here and it's time to turn up. Get your dancing shoes on, Lego.
We really do have it all. It's a premium mix of information and entertainment every single day on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio.
In the silence, something was growing. The journey continues. The calm before the storm. You can't mute a force that was born to speak. You can't bury rhythm. It rewrites itself. Louder. Every signal lost finds its way back to the source. This is not a comeback, it's a recalibration. This is the takeover. This is Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. Driving you home with good vibes, good conversations, and the freshest hits. Hop in, take a ride. Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. 3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
The Electoral Commission has reiterated its commitment to organizing free and fair elections this December.
How's your week treating you? I'm here to serve you great music, tidbit for your at-work listening pleasure.
Rastafari, Rastafari, Rastafari. Our Father, who art in Zion, Kanamawe, Kanamawe, Kanamawe. Oh, turn it up!
Coming to the mountains, sight and I grandpa.
It's time to drive you home in style with great music, the 411 and all your favorite songs, what's happening around town, and so much more.
And in the headlines today, the two leading political parties have been addressing the public on allegations of corruption. The Black Stars coach has unveiled his squad for the upcoming games, and there are some interesting names.
Pull up! The weekend is here and it's time to turn up. Get your dancing shoes on, Lego.
We really do have it all. It's a premium mix of information and entertainment every single day on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio.
In the silence, something was growing. The journey continues. The calm before the storm. You can't mute a force that was born to speak. You can't bury rhythm. It rewrites itself. Louder. Every signal lost finds its way back to the source. This is not a comeback, it's a recalibration. This is the takeover. This is Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. Driving you home with good vibes, good conversations, and
Adequate water supply to the Teshinungwa enclave in the Greater Accra region has become worse, but it is a bad situation already. For years, people have been buying water. For years, people have been buying water. And the situation has grown from bad to worse. So this morning, my colleague Cookie T, she visited the Teshi area and then she engaged with a few residents there, how they are surviving, how dire the situation is. We'll take a few minutes and listen to some of their concerns and the need for authorities to urgently step in. The places hardest hit by the water shortage include Teshi, Nungwa, Bachona, Spintex, Sakumono, La, and the surrounding areas. In October 2025, the Teshi Nungwa desalination plant, which converted seawater to portable drinking water and supplied it to many of the areas, was shut down by the Ghana Water Company Limited. It explained that the decision was due to unresolved contractual obligations between it and operators of the facility and a culture of lack of critical maintenance of the facility. But several months down the line, the GWL had to release a water rationing schedule as the water crisis worsened following agitations from the residents.
Say ye coin fertilizer grade estate ajoma yesra ban say ye coin no enye e coin no de anya say ukọ baby kwan ya bobe say 9 o'clock now fa drop in the baha obi amba ukọ baby kwan now say me na me fa uba na wo ye ufa omumba say coin no enye afa ye street light ni nyina asay nti yesra ban say ye nyina ye hyem na ye vote ye nti ya ye hyetokrom ye ya omba no be hwe kwase area ha lejo kuku MP no your friend is honorable Ayiku obe kutu wa ha anka ye sa fi 2025 no vote no na se be vote no na nka ye be to skirt and top obe kutu wa ha epa ya chaw ye nka ho a onka ho nyama ne nyina ni bia se fe ya mami ni won kala ka wo fertilizer bi hu wo fe mi ni adwoma bi wo gbe la iku e won mele wo gbe fe gbe ni ta chore ten oko na ba fe oko boy na ba fe election na oko boy fe na ngme le ayiku wa kwa won na TV wa kwa TV no MPC amenfe silejo kuku ale won na ayiku we NDCB what part kwa gbe ye NDCB ameya no nti ya panicho aha anopai de enye nu nti na mo ban so anyaye me bakrom ha 79 ana me bakrom ha nso akwan we ya saa neti mawo me ba anya na nso sifi a yenya light bibi ankoso uti dema mfutro nkwa ye nyama homa adentia nanso edu vote tama yada na abronuma ye pa ye cho na ya ja ya to ho etese ye dia ye nka ho nti se afiri se omusa bestani se ye vote mo ma dia ye pe no ma nyama ya ye vote enne ye vote ochina etese kokromoti anu na eba ma onu so obekọ nti dia odi assembly woman wa hanu onu na chese otu sa na mo nu ontu ye hunu nti dianti na so ya assembly woman wa woni dianti na wo ya assembly woman no minimum no party sa me moto obunwe ye hunu wa area ha ye hunu nti na so ya 40 manu oba be ya assembly woman oba bua yo oya oba ne yamu ehihye no tai na so onya se oba be ye nti ya so ba ntafo a won dafa ku ubeye sei ansana wama wunkola no nufo odi ne fa ana odi ko nti ya sra no nusu oti ho no so on vote on ba biom a Any answer now, so the other best at the election with this or my answer. I vote.
They spoke about their roads, electricity, and a whole lot of others. Municipal chief executive, assembly members, to the member of parliament for the area. Let the lobbying go further. Okay, solve their problems for them. They are not happy. Speak up. Attend to their needs. They say that is why you people are there. That is why you're occupying the various positions. That is why you're enjoying all the benefits. Do for them what they want you to do for them. Help them solve their problems, fix their roads, solve their water crisis situation, give them proper electricity. These are just bread and butter issues. There's not plenty things they're asking for. The assemblywoman too was standing there and the woman said, the woman said she does not see it. Hey. And as well, but we have to go. Before we go, I'd like to wish a happy birthday to a few other people. If you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday to you. You are a great member of the team. Have an awesome birthday from all of us here at Media General. Happy birthday to you, Ezekiel Fifi Arthur. Christabel Sasa Trevor says, ooh, I've seen that picture. You're producing sounds. Hey, Sasa Trevor. Sasa saw the picture and ooh. You said the ooh, I'm not Janet Yamashino. You see the way she's looking at you. Happy birthday to you, Akosia Sewa Sirifi. This one says you shine bright like the stars. Keep flourishing in the sight of God from your family and friends. Akosia Sewa Sirifi say you shine bright like the stars. Happy birthday to you if you're celebrating your birthday.